a bopping beat. Crystal's got a theory and she's bringing the heat. With a playlist rolling and a case to crack, she's digging through the weird and she ain't looking back. Crystal's crime and music. Hey, hey, hey. Word little whispers and a beat that slays. She's grooving through the rumors, dancing through the doubt. Hop on the stream and help her figure it out. She's got headphones on and snacks in hand. She's sleuthing in slippers, ain't it grand? Crimes and chords, it's a curious mix, but she'll remix that mystery just for kicks. Crystal's crime and music, let's roll. Talking strange old stories with a heart and soul. From cryptic clues to a disco track, she's chasing down weirdness and never looks back. She don't solve crime, just talks and vibes with a keyboard click and detective drive. She's got music moods and wild ideas and a soft spot for victims through the years. Is that a ghost? Or just bad Wi-Fi? Did that dude lie? Or is it all a sigh? Whatever the twist, Crystal's on the screen with a snack, a song, and a mystery meme. So grab your tea and your favorite chair. She's cracking up theories out of thin air. One part groove, one part hum. It's Crystal's show, let's have some fun. Crystal's crime and music, tune it loud, where the silly gets spooky and the beats are proud. She's laughing, guessing, and spilling the tea. Come vibe with the queen of crime and melody. There's a
I thought that was a bit longer. My bowl needs cleaned and it's choking me to death. Hope you guys have your coffee and your weed this morning. I find something very hysterical. I would like to know. Listen, we're going to do, what does Benny call it? Quentin Tarantino. Because I can't consume myself. Hi, Kylie. Good morning, Angie. These people. Yesterday, I see a community post or something that says they got a tip for summer. Look closely at their background. I went through the 3 videos prior to this. I seen not one updated picture by the TBI put out image of Summer Wells on this channel. In my opinion, if anybody's seen Summer on their channel and called them as a tip, number one, that's weird as fuck. Somebody just left me, I think it was Flies, I'm not sure, but I think, left me a comment stating that in the third one, so after we watch a little bit of this, we're going to go to the third one and see as they're walking up or down the driveway, I'm going to look at the comment and see if they say what Flies said they said, which, what did she say? Hold on, let me go look. These people, it's fucking laughable. At this point, the games people come out here, and I think it's important when we start watching some of their other content and seeing what they've been about in Sebastian's case. If anybody followed them in Sebastian's case, can you please tell me about that? Okay, hold on. I have to find this comment I just seen. Walking down the driveway. Give me 1 second here. I must be looking at the wrong post. I'm sorry, guys. Please bear with me. I should have had this pulled up. I'll find it before the end of the stream. Flies on a Cool Slope said that they mentioned something walking down in the third video, walking down the driveway that was odd to them. So we're going to listen to that after we listen to this, but we're going to do what this Benny called Quentin Tarantino. We are going to start at this bullshit AI fucking fake tip phone call these people put out. I don't know if any of you, hey Karen, hey Cher, he had 2 different kinds of shoes on. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Listen, if anybody thinks this is a real fucking human this guy is talking to, I'm here to tell you fact. This is not a fucking human this man is talking to. He is trying to convince you that it is a human calling him with a tip. Please listen to this.
So do you want to talk about the call we got the other day?
Yeah, what is that, about 18 minutes long?
Yeah, we can
No,
just talk
if they
about it
can
if you
hear it,
want.
guys, she's going to play a video here. No, I want to talk about it at the end, though.
Okay.
She's going to play a video. If you would, one of you, as quick as it comes on, just say yes or no. If you can hear it, say yes. If you can't hear it, say no, and we'll know, because we can't hear nothing on our end. We're not that educated on this.
I do believe Justin knows a lot.
Police Department.
Yes, ma'am. My name's Fred McCoy. I'm a retired police officer, and I have some information I was wanting to pass on to an officer or a detective. Or does your guys' area cover Avenue?
Thank you.
When that
No,
video
that would
is over,
actually be.
Somebody tell us it's
I
over,
believe.
because we can't get the
I
black
can give you the
screen.
number, or I can
Yeah.
transfer you to.
If you would, just transfer me, dear. Thank you.
Okay. All right. You're welcome.
It should be.
Thanks for calling the County Public Safety Communications. For English, stay on the line. Presione dos para español.
Thank
I'm a
you.
bot name filer that can answer commonly asked questions. Please use your own words to describe why you are calling.
Missing person location.
I am still learning. I will transfer you to the non-emergency line for further help.
Good.
Yes, ma'am. My name's Fred McCoy. I'm a retired police officer, and I had some information I was wanting to give to a detective or a police officer. And first thing, I guess, is
Still learning. That was funny, I thought.
in your jurisdiction,
And it depends on where.
417 Ware Avenue.
470, yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you're familiar with the missing child Summer Wells from Tennessee.
So here he is. You're going to hear a call after this. Maybe I came in early and it was a robot and it told us at the beginning. I came in late, I mean. But I don't know, man. Here he is calling in a tip. But there's another phone call after this that I heard that he plays. And guys, he had one slide and one crock on. I have a feeling Squall brought these people in to Summer's case. Hi, Squall.
Are you familiar with that?
All right, hang on just a second for me. I'm not. Let me let you talk to their dispatch. Just a second.
Thank you.
Thank you for holding.
Yes.
Yes, sir. They sent you over to us. How can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. My name's Fred McCoy. I'm a retired police officer, and I was calling in reference to, are you familiar with Summer Wells, the missing child from Tennessee? It's been
I am
missing.
not, sir.
Okay, well, she's been missing now for about 5 years. And again, I'm retired, and my wife and I are YouTubers, and we were down there doing a video on it. And a lady called us yesterday and said that she spotted, this is a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, and she would be 10 years old now. She was abducted or something when she was 5.
I remember what it was. That Hatfield and McCoy, Fred and Sheila, asked people to call them with tips on video 3. We're going to go listen to that.
And she said that she was at 417 for an appointment. And again, we know how these things go. It may lead to nothing, but we don't want to pass it by and not tell somebody. But she said there was a Mexican lady out front with a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, approximately 10 years old. And when she saw her, it really stood out to her that it didn't match up. Now, anything's possible. We know that. But I was just curious if maybe a detective or a police officer would maybe give this lady a call and get all the information, and maybe somebody's got a camera there. They may just, God may bless us to, this may be the girl that everybody's been looking for. Who knows?
Okay, and what's the phone number that you're calling from?
My phone number is 606-669-0364.
And what's your name?
Fred
She's whispering.
McCoy.
Here's what's absent. Did he say he was a retired detective? I don't think he did. You hear her whispering in the background. In the phone call that he has that I'm about to show you, he beeps all that information out. But here he's giving it to you, to the TBI. You can hear the TBI sounds disgusted with this man. I tried to like them, the first 2 videos. My opinion of them is not positive after this bullshit.
We're from Kentucky.
We're from Kentucky.
And can you repeat the child's name and date of birth?
Her name is Summer Wells. I don't know her date of birth. She was 5 years old when she disappeared, and she disappeared on June the 15th of 2021. She's out of
She's whispering.
Tennessee, Hawkins County, Tennessee. TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's Department are the ones I think that's worth the case, and the FBI as far as that. She's been missing 5 years.
Oh my God, it's so bad, Karen. And this is a waste of TBI's time. Especially after the call he's closed for us from the person who called in the tip to him.
All right, we'll have an officer give
Why
you a
couldn't that
call.
person call 1-800 TBI find herself?
That will be the officer. I would also recommend once you speak with our officer to contact the originating
officer.
agency to let them know of that as well. And you can give the information to the officer once they call, okay?
Okay, if you don't mind, I mean, I don't mind them calling, no problem, but that's about all the information I have. If you don't care, I'll give you this lady's phone number and name, and
I disagree. Share. I think YouTubers come out here, maybe get paid. Aw, thank you, Jaded. Maybe get paid. Maybe do it to play games for other YouTubers. Maybe a bigger YouTuber came to this YouTuber and said, hey, you can get 1 million views. Maybe a smaller YouTuber went to this YouTuber, said you could get 1 million views because they have, 30-some thousand subscribers. They were a big channel already. They stated they covered Sebastian. I unfortunately don't follow Sebastian's case. Yeah. I wonder, Karen, if somebody sent them in to be a distraction. Because this call, I can't believe people were in the chat feeding this. It doesn't even sound human. It is 100% an AI voice. Not even a good, well thought out, edited AI voice. He talks over it. It talks over him. I'm flabbergasted. I literally have no words after hearing this tip that he got fed to him instead of the TBI. Why would this tipster call him and not 1-800-TBI-FIND? Why is this man not sharing Summer's current, updated, and past Amber Alert, TBI posted, missing posters of this little girl? Why does he only have pictures of her when she was 4 and 5 and 3? If we're looking for a current Summer Wells, it's extremely important that we put out the information that TBI puts out. Only the information TBI puts out. This, to me, I'm probably going to piss my pants laughing because it's that fucking comical. I just don't.
He might be better off to contact her and get it straight from her as to what she's seen. Or
I understand, sir, but I'm not an officer, so it's talking to me doesn't constitute a report. You have to speak with an officer in order for them to do any type of report or incident.
No problem. Just have them call me.
Yeah.
I'm going to look him up. Did he ever state, we need to go back and listen, did he ever state what sheriff's department he worked for or what police department? I think we need to look up if he has a bad record being a police officer, what the community thought of him. Was it a big community, a small community? There's an instinct in me that tells me don't trust these two creators. I know that's bad. I've offered them links. They put a heart. They seen it. I would like to speak to the caller of him. I would like to have a personal conversation. This person also does not answer full questions.
Just speak with them and then give them the information or whatever information you have, and the officer will follow up, okay?
Thank you, dear.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir, it is. How you doing?
Karen, Tiffany tried that bullshit before. Doesn't it seem like we've done this before, we're going to do it again?
Bureau of Investigation, how may I help you?
Yeah, hi. My name is Crystal Sims. I'm the owner and operator of a YouTube channel called Crystal's Crime and Music, previous Crystal's Crime Time, and Crystal's Crime and Conversations. There are two other YouTube creators, according to my chat, going around stating that TBI is no longer taking tips for Summer Wells. Can you confirm for me if that's true?
No, that's not true. We take all tips.
Okay, so there is a channel called Hatfield and McCoy, and they are walking up onto the Wells property and putting out false calls made by AI. You could clearly tell it's AI. Funneling tips to themselves, saying it's a tipster that called, and then they are live calling you guys, just like I am right now. I'm letting you know. They are live calling you guys and then calling in false and fake tips to you guys. The channel Tiffany Marie and the channel Ernie Shell, Unlock Your Reality.
Is this specifically about the Summer Wells?
Yes, just specifically Summer
Okay.
Wells. They are stating that TBI is no longer
Okay, wait,
taking
let me-
tips.
Let me send you to the missing persons unit. Did you say that you're live streaming this call?
I am, but I just wanted to let you know. I just wanted to get confirmation from my chat that
Okay.
you guys would never deny.
You know,
You
hold on,
guys,
let me
this
look at that.
specifically really ain't about Summer, but you guys would never deny a tip from Summer Wells, correct? Or any missing person.
Right. So this is the tip line. So that we would take the tips, you know, regarding whatever topic it is. That's what this phone line is for. So we would answer those calls. here
Okay,
at this
so
line.
we should not take heed and turn in tips to YouTube channels, correct? We should turn them directly into TBI and TBI only, correct?
Right. I mean, if you want to submit any tips or any information into law enforcement, I mean, that would be the proper channel. So that is correct.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, and I'm sorry I crowded up your line. I just
No
wanted to make sure that the people that do follow Summer Wells' case on YouTube is aware that that is misinformation and that they know that they can call TBI if it's a credible tip, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, honey. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Uh-huh,
No, you're fine. Thank you.
uh-huh,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. I hope that solves any concerns that Ernie and Tiffany Marie may be telling people. We've done this before, and every time they say it, I will continue to do it again. And if they are telling you not to call TBI, then we have a reason to be cautious. That's troublesome to me, especially coming from Tiffany Marie. Okay. As you see, the tip line's working. I think Tiffany dialed a fake number. I've never, ever had a hard time getting through the TBI. And even if you cannot call them, they have an email address that you can look up, tips to TBI. You can send them a tip through that channel as well. You can also send tips to Hawkins County, Tennessee, or the FBI, or the card team. Those would be the proper channels to send, or your local police, if you see her locally to you, immediately. Like, say I would see Summer in Pittsburgh. Instead of calling TBI, I would want to secure Summer's spot and the police be there. Hey, I spot a missing child. 911. Then I would make the second call to TBI. Then I would make the third call to Hawkins County, Tennessee. There is never no, or even the Attorney General, the district attorney. Don't you ever give your tips to TBI, to anybody on YouTube. Actually, that can hinder a case. This could be somebody working for a bad PI or a bad YouTuber. And you gave them the tips, they distract the tip, and TBI never gets the proper tip. So Summer goes unnoticed if she's alive out there. It is bullshit that you can't get through to somebody. If you see her, a local call to 911 works, no matter where you're at. I just want you to know that. These people and any YouTube creator that tells you that you can't call a tip to the proper channels, they're full of shit. And I am going to cut that portion of my live and I'm going to play it and I'm going to tag Tiffany Marie, Ernie, and Hatfield and McCoy, as well as We Can Bring You Hope, because this is the same fucking shit that We Can Bring You Hope did. That's why I think the PIs and Squall may be behind this. But let's continue.
In reference, you believe a missing child in the area?
Yeah, well, we didn't, but a lady called us from down there. She said she was at 417 Avenue. Evidently, that's a little strip mall, or she was at a doctor's office or something.
Yeah.
And she said that out from her was we're YouTubers. I'm a retired police officer. We're now YouTubers. That's what we do. We look for missing people and been a little bit successful at it every now and then. And she had seen one of our videos on Summer Wells. Are you familiar with Summer Wells?
I am not.
Okay, well, she's a little missing. She's been gone 5 years from.
Okay, so I'm going to respond to this one out loud. Andy Bernard's tip that was ignored by all levels of law enforcement has the right to be heard and debunked. If it's not right, this is a distraction, so it's not that it speaks volumes. I agree, Karen. Listen. Let me see if I have this cut. Do y'all remember about 2 weeks ago? Per Gordon was coming out with Ernie and they were talking about earthquake equipment. GDR is what they were really talking about. But Ernie called it seismic. Everybody went crazy for about a week about GDR or whatever it's called. I'm going to tell you that Dawn Wells even told Hatfield and McCoy, along with TBI, that they had 119 agencies, fact, involved in Summer and Wells' case. Some of those agencies were search teams, such as, let me see. I don't know that this is the video, but in this and every press conference, I have to go back to your guys' chats. They have told us they use this technology to look for Summer, and that multiple agencies have brought that technology in to look for Summer. You're welcome, Exploited. I know for a fact EquiSearch used that technology in Natalie Holloway's case. I know they have it. They've used it in other cases. We know they were involved, and we also know Dawn and Candace and the PIs and Tim Mullen and Andy Bernard and Jody Sue Brown wanted EquiSearch the fuck out of Dodge, right? So then they leave after a big fuss. In my opinion, that gives that group of people time to clean something up, because EquiSearch is that good at looking. We have heard EquiSearch say they seen a site that looked disturbed where something may have been, such as a Summer Wells, and then maybe moved. They invited EquiSearch back, but it took them some time to do so. But most of these agencies have that technology. Besides that, Benny or somebody even went over a video where they showed the news, and other people have read, and other people have said the Chamberlains on the corner, Blue Roof Dawn, they even said it to JLR, has a camera directly pointed at the gravesite. Benny, let's go see if we can find in this. Listen, let me show you the exact.
With K9s on standby. Some of the issues we're encountering with the search is the steep and dangerous terrain. With this steep and dangerous terrain, we're also experiencing, as you see behind us, very dense canopy coverage, including very dense ground cover, causing search efforts to become very difficult, taking extra time to cover these areas adequately, exhausting teams a lot quicker, in turn causing longer for these grounds to be covered, allowing those teams for recovery and rehab.
He said he worked for London. Kearney. Is that what you're telling me? Did you know there was a drug bust in London a couple years ago with a Morlock involved? And that Morlock has a family member that directly connects to their area, Summers area, and a tattoo shop in a very small town I grew up in. I covered it. You've got to be fucking joking me, dude. Give me a minute. It was in videos. I gotta scroll. We're sharing a tab. Because if you really just told me this fucking man worked in London fucking police department, then we're gonna make a call to London Police Department. And that's not even a fucking joke. Okay, hold on. This case gets stranger and stranger and stranger by the minute. If I can't find the video I made, we are going to go pull that drug bus stop. Hatfield and McCoy, I'd like you to grab a fucking link. We there now. Jesus, hell. You gotta be kidding me. Just give me a minute, guys. Over. After this shit. Give me a minute. I might have to go see if I privated this shit. They had a huge bust. A very large Where I made it right before these. I'm sorry, guys. Please bear with me. Because this is, if that's true, this is important. Give me 1 minute here. I'm going to see. I'm so sorry, guys. I apologize. If that's really true, you guys need to see this. I did a whole ass series. Alright, we're gonna check my Canva then. Let me come to chat a minute. I'm really behind on chat. You guys need to see this. I'd like to show it to you in my content because this might be part of it.
And Shalona Slaughters, 57, of Owensboro, Kentucky. 31 of the 37 defendants have been arrested or otherwise in custody. 26 defendants have made their initial court appearances before a U.S. Magistrate Judge of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Kentucky or the Central District, California. 6 defendants, Jackson, Williams, Truss, Jeremy, Hawkins, Hoskins, and Bermudez, are currently in state custody and will make an initial appearance before a U.S. Magistrate Judge at a future date. The defendants have not yet been arrested: Brandon Arnold, Webb, Lee, and Williams. If convicted, each of the defendants, except Jackson, face a minimum sentence of 10 years in prison. Jackson faces a minimum sentence of 15 years in prison. All the defendants face a maximum sentence of life in prison. A federal
in California have been indicted in a federal drug trafficking investigation, and more than a dozen of them are from Louisville. According to the Department of Justice, 17 people from the metro were charged with meth, fentanyl, and cocaine trafficking offenses and firearms offenses.
Louisville, CAI, on August 6, 2024. A federal grand jury in Louisville charged a total of 37 defendants from across Kentucky and California in 5 separate indictments involving methamphetamine, fentanyl, and cocaine trafficking offenses and firearms offenses. The indictments were the result of a lengthy investigation conducted as part of the Organized Crime and Drug and Enforcement Task Force, OCDETF.
Investigators uncovered a drug pipeline from California to Kentucky. Officials say it happened between March of 2023 and August of this year. Most of the defendants face a minimum sentence of 10 years in prison.
U.S. Attorney Michael A. Bennett of the Western District of Kentucky, Special Agent in Charge Sheila G. Lyons of the DEA Chicago Field Division, and Assistant Special Agent in Charge Michael Gannon of the DEA Indianapolis District Office, Special Agent in Charge Karen Wingard of the Cincinnati Field Office, IRS Criminal Investigation, and Chief Art Elam of the Owensboro Police Department made the announcement. According to the first indictment, 14 defendants are all charged with one count of conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute controlled substances. Beginning as early as March 2023 and continuing through August 5, 2024, the defendants conspired to possess with the intent to distribute 50 grams or more of methamphetamine and 5 kilograms or more of cocaine. The defendants charged in the first indictment are DeAndre Williams, 40, of Adelanto, California; DeJuan Truss, 42, of Louisville; Rayshawn Spearman, SR, 39, of Louisville; Elmondo Elliott, 55, of Los Angeles, California; Desmond Knox, 50, of Menifree, California; Rayshawn Spearman Jr., 26, of Louisville; Brandon Arnold, 42, of Louisville; Antonio Arnold, 44, of Louisville; Dwayne Evans, 35, of Louisville; Melanie Sorrell, 45, of Louisville; Antonio Evans, 42, of Louisville; Devontae Hoskins, 28, of Louisville; Gardner Webb, 31, of Louisville; and Tanaja Lee, 23, of Louisville. Williams, Truss, Spearman, SR, and Elliott are also each charged with possession with the intent to distribute 500 grams or more of a methamphetamine mixture and possession with the intent to distribute 5 kilograms or more of cocaine. According to a federal criminal complaint filed in relation to these charges on July 7, 2024, members of the DEA Evansville Resident Office and Louisville Division Office received information from a confidential source regarding the possible distribution of large quantities of crystal methamphetamine and cocaine. Through follow-up investigation, members of the surveillance team observed a transaction between Williams and Truss at a Love's gas station in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. According to the complaint affidavit, members of the Kentucky State Police made contact with Williams and Truss and conducted further investigation. Law enforcement ultimately seized cardboard boxes containing approximately 252.9 pounds of methamphetamine and 12 kilograms of cocaine. According to the second indictment, 8 defendants are all charged with one count of conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute methamphetamine. Beginning as early as March 2023 and continuing through August 5, 2024, the defendants conspired to possess with the intent to distribute 50 grams or more of methamphetamine. The defendants charged in the second indictment: Richard Borman, 48, of Owensboro, Kentucky; Joshua Stapp, 40, of Owensboro, Kentucky; Justin Riley, 41, of Owensboro, Kentucky; Bobby Douglas, 56, of Lexington, Kentucky; Jamie Voiles, 44, of Owensboro, Kentucky; Gregory Knuckles, 61, of Owensboro, Kentucky; Zachariah Nance, 44, of Utica, Kentucky; and O. Porsinski, 39, of Owensboro, Kentucky. According to the third indictment, 3 defendants are all charged with one count of conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute methamphetamine. Beginning as early as March 2023 and continuing through August 5, 2024, the defendants conspired to possess with the intent to distribute 50 grams or more of methamphetamine. The defendants charged in the third indictment are Cameron Jackson, 24, of Owensboro, Kentucky; Damon McGuire, 29, of Owensboro, Kentucky; and Tyler Vinson, 32, of Owensboro, Kentucky. Jackson is also with one count of possession with intent to distribute 50 grams or more of methamphetamine, 40 grams or more of fentanyl, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of a firearm in furtherance of drug trafficking. According to the indictment, on May 1, 2024, Jackson possessed a Trailblazer Arms .22 caliber pistol, a Taurus 9mm pistol, a Zastava Arms .762 caliber pistol, and ammunition. Jackson was prohibited from possessing a firearm because he had previously been convicted of the following felony offenses. On December 16, 2019, in Davies Circuit Court, Davies County, Kentucky, Jackson was convicted of manslaughter in the second degree, receiving a stolen firearm, tampering with physical evidence, and possession of a controlled substance in the first degree. First offense, methamphetamine.
A convicted felon is facing serious drug and gun charges following a disturbance call in Owensboro, Kentucky. Officers responded to a home along Surrey Drive West, but later located 24-year-old Cameron Jackson near West 9th and Frederica Street. Patrol units charged Jackson with assault, fourth-degree domestic violence, minor injury. Further investigation led to the discovery of over $12,000 in cash, a loaded handgun, a large amount of suspected fentanyl pills, and other evidence indicative of narcotics trafficking. The Owensboro Police Department Street Crimes Unit continued the investigation by obtaining a search warrant for Jackson's residence. During the search, detectives seized approximately 2 pounds of suspected methamphetamine, cocaine, marijuana, and additional evidence of narcotics trafficking. A handgun, 2 rifles, and a shotgun were also found inside the residence. As a result, Jackson was charged with the following: trafficking controlled sub, first degree, first offense greater than or equal to 2 grams of methamphetamine enhancement. Possession of handgun by convicted felon. Possession of firearm by convicted felon. Trafficking controlled sub, first degree, first offense less than 4 grams of cocaine enhancement. Drug paraphernalia by possess. Possession of marijuana. Jackson had
Listen, this was a multi, and I may have the wrong bust. I did a very deep dive. Here's what we're going to do. Let me go.
Highlighted in blue, and the 8 people they have yet to arrest, which are highlighted in red. 7 of the 8 people who are wanted are from Louisville. Some already made their appearance before a federal judge today, or they will tomorrow. One of the houses raided today as a part of this investigation was on Northwestern Parkway in the Portland neighborhood. WLKY News Chopper was over the location this afternoon and captured FBI agents searching the house and a garage behind it. A warehouse.
London police sees, I might have had the wrong thing pulled up. They connect, is what I'm saying. London police sees large amount of fentanyl in raid. Raids lead to large fentanyl busts. London Police Chief Jerry Holland has reported that Officer Jordan Childers, along with LPD's Special Investigation Unit, seized a large amount of fentanyl and other contraband after serving a search warrant on a residence. Brian Hubbard and Jonathan Hubbard were arrested as a result of the search warrant. Officer Childers is the investigating officer and was assisted by Detective Wes Wolf. Well, let me see something. Arrests. Brian Hubbard, 60, of London, Kentucky, was arrested for a trafficking controlled substance in a first-degree first offense. Let me go through this. Jonathan, okay, they were 2 in the bust, but they weren't. I might have the wrong bust pulled up, and I want to make sure that I don't. And I apologize for wasting all of your time. If I cannot find it, what we're going to do is I'm going to come back when I find the correct video. But Lexington, Kentucky to just see that Lexington. One hour, 21 minutes away. Lexington to Owens. Or London to Owens. Owen. Which Owen was that? I'm going to find the correct rate, but in the meantime, let's go back and listen to this weird phone call.
Tennessee, and a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, and she's now 10 years old. And she said she'd watched our video a couple of days ago. We just got back from Tennessee doing a story, and said she was outside there just waiting on her appointment. And there was a Mexican lady with a little blonde-headed, blue-eyed girl, and said it just favored the pictures that she had seen. The TBI has put out a 5-year update on what she
A progression, what she would look like.
progression of what she would look like now, and said it just caught her eye that it doesn't mean anything. I'm not, but yeah, as police officers, you never know, something may turn up. But said there was a Mexican lady had a little blue-eyed, blonde-headed girl with her, and it struck her as odd, and she thought about that it looked like Summer. And I just wanted to give somebody her phone number and her name, and probably nothing to it. We know how that goes, but wouldn't it be something after 5 years that, you did?
This is part of it. Hold on. I'm going to read this to you. 13 arrested. And drug roundup following undercover investigation in Laurel County. London, Kentucky. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office announced that 13 people have been arrested following months-long undercover investigation conducted by narcotics detectives into drug trafficking. The sheriff says that charges for 13 arrested included drug trafficking, meth, and cocaine. All were taken to detention centers in the area. Investigations remain ongoing, and more arrests are expected. Below is a list of people arrested and their charges provided by the sheriff's office. Kayla Philippart of Parker Road of London, charged with a complaint warrant against the obtained Laurel County Sheriff Michael Fields of Kirby. Kirby Lane, London, Kentucky. There were quite a bit of names, and this isn't the only bust in this. Do you guys remember how I taught you how an operation works? Dakota Mayfield, 39. Christopher Sean Bowling. Charles Asher. Ian Mounts. Michael Lyons. Robbie Dale Gray. Richard R. Marquez. Deborah Wagers. Paul Dunsel. Chelsea Sandlin. Dempsey Dilf. So those are the 13 in this small. However, this led to hundreds of arrests in the area. And I'm going to find all of it. And when I have my whole video that I made, the whole series, because I made a whole series on this and I had a live. It was very long. And we went over it, and I believe I showed you the connections. But there was a bunch of little busts that led to this really big bust that was multi-jurisdictional and state. And California, the names named in the last one, you can see in other places. It's really confusing if I don't have it up. But if Hatfield and McCoy are from this area of Kentucky, then we have something to worry about. That's my opinion. Yeah, no. They did an innocent go back. I just called TBI a little bit ago. But anyways, I'm off track here. Let's go to Hatfield and McCoy. If I find that video, I will come live with it.
Go back and review camera footage or go to one of those other. She said that she didn't think that they was in the same building that she was. That I think that she was in 4C or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to give you her number and name and I'm just going to pass it on, pals. All I'm wanting to do.
Sure. Good.
Her name is. Her number's.
All right, I'll give her. See what's going on, and I'll put a picture of Summer Wells, dude.
Yeah, you can just Google Summer Wells and believe me, it'll come up. It's one of the most famous cases. So, and we thank you, pal, just for checking it out. Maybe.
Actually, that's not true. Summer's case is famous on YouTube. Nancy Grace has covered her once. Dawn and Candace, Dr. Phil's covered her. Yeah, she's known. But people don't know the facts in Summer's case. They don't know if she's found or not. She's not covered in public and national news the way she used to be. And we don't see the parents begging public and national news 5 years later to put Summer's picture and case out there. So it's not really that famous of a case unless you follow it on YouTube. It's sad to me.
Maybe
nothing, but you never know.
Maybe nothing, but you never know, Sheila said.
Is it the Summer Moon Utah
Yes.
Wells?
That's correct.
Okay.
She's been missing since June the 15th, 2021.
Call and see what she can give me.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you for the call.
Bye, pal.
If you do end up getting in contact with her again, you can just tell her to call PD to make the report. That's helpful if that police department whenever she's available.
You're breaking up to call what PD?
So I called her numerous times. I didn't get an answer, but I'll drive the area and just see if I can locate anything at least. And then it seems like you're in contact with her too. So if you're able to get in contact with her again, you can tell her to just call in on to the police department to make that report.
Okay.
But I'll still drive over there, just cover all bases, see if I see anything. But yeah, if you get in contact with her again, just tell her to call in, and they'll put her in contact with an officer. She can make that report at least, and any information would help. So.
All righty. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll head over there now.
What's your name? Wonder if she's got a machine. Did he leave a message?
I don't know.
Hello. Yeah.
This is Fred and Sheila McCoy. How are you today?
All right. How are you?
Doing good. I bet you got a call from a unknown number a few minutes ago.
Yeah. I didn't know who it was.
Sure, I figured that. It was actually the police department.
Oh,
This
okay.
is not a human voice.
Forgive, 'cause you never know. Again, this, me and you and Sheila all know that it may not be nothing, but what if? Wouldn't it be something if that's actually Summer that's.
But what if me and you and Sheila,
You happened upon it? It does happen.
Yeah.
So the officer called us back, and he said if you didn't care to just call the police department there and let him talk to you and see what he could get. And we're wanting him to maybe go check the video cameras in the area and just see if If he can find out who that was that day, and at least we can rule the little girl out as being Summer. So,
Okay.
do you have a ink pen or a pencil handy, or you can just look?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can give you the police department phone number if you want.
Yeah, I didn't know
I
exactly what
didn't.
that number
I
was.
can
So
give
yeah,
you.
go ahead and
I
give it to
didn't
me.
know exactly what that number was. A police department number.
There was a
The beep is still going while he's supposed to be given a number.
I believe he would have been the one that just took a complaint on a missing child. The dispatcher will, with it being a Sunday, I'm sure there's not that many out, but she will be familiar. We just got off the phone with them. And I think he said his name was Officer or something like that. And we were taping. I've got it on tape, but I'm on the phone with you, so I can't go back and get it right now. But they'll be familiar. You just tell them you're just calling about Summer Wells, the little girl that was missing, and you was wanting to speak to the officer that called Fred McCoy.
Okay. I didn't know who that was. I was kind of, yeah.
We don't answer people with numbers. We let them leave a message and then call them back. So that we understand that.
I
dear.
didn't. Okay, all right.
People in his chat, like
Thanks.
Justin,
Thanks. I'll call
believe
him back.
it.
Thank you.
Justin is in his chat
Bye.
Bye.
saying he believes
You're
this.
welcome.
Justin. Now these people want us to come out here and trust them.
I think that's it. Okay, guys, sorry. I didn't say nothing because I was afraid it was coming over the recording. We had gotten a call from someone who said that they thought they had seen Summer with a lady. And so she wanted to tell us about that, a robot, because I tried to voice over and change the
This
voice.
lady's got a real interesting voice. I think people would be able to recognize her. Anybody that knows her. We're not sure if she wanted to be a
The robot has a real recognizable voice. Yeah. I'm going to say that is Polly on Amazon or something similar. It ain't even a good AI voice. You talked over it. The beeps while you were supposed to be giving a phone number were not positioned correctly. Okay. The voice was broken up. Sir, I edit videos. I use AI. I just shared a video with you about the Louisville, London, Owen City. I went to Tennessee, West Virginia, Ohio was big. Us. I just showed you a way better AI voice than whatever this is you just fucking used. I would like to know, sir, why it is you think it is responsible to take tips in Summer Wells' case, and why you would not direct the person sending you the tip directly to law enforcement, their local 911, TBI, Hawkins County, the FBI in Knoxville, Roush. He'll talk to you if you call. I've spoken to him. The FBI core team in Boston, they are over Summer's case. I believe the day of the hoax call, Candace found out where they were from because they came to Don's house and removed him and took him to a local Hawkins County Police Department to question him and then brought him home. So he was home that morning when we all woke up and said, "They took Don to Boston." No. The FBI card team from Boston, Candace probably misunderstood, came and took Don to Hawkins County to question him, is what I'm going to speculate. Yeah. This is flabbergasting to me that this man would not pre-listen to what bullshit he is putting out after stating he did not trespass, and we all watched him trespass right onto the Wells property. I don't know what fuck shit, crazy fucking shit, this crazy shit show of a fucking weirdo is, in my opinion. But I know this is not setting right with me. Yes, it's outrageous. This is very similar to something reminiscent in Summer Wells' case. There was an agency, a 501c3 called We Can Bring You Hope. People I know in my personal life give me 1 minute here. Let me see what all I got. Yeah, I want to share that video about Monkey too. It's hard to watch, but I'm going to show you guys something about that before I get off here. But here is just a snippet because I don't have much here that I can find. This is We Can Bring You Hope.
We've gotten so much shit that I don't even have time to go in there and explain everything to you guys. That's why we're just doing dumps in there. Because we're just putting it in there as we can dump it. Because we're getting so much shit on. I literally have been on my phone since Saturday. When did Kim call me? Saturday? I don't know. I think it was Saturday. And, you know, he was the guy he's that guy that's that cracking cases guy. And, you know, he's willing to go down and do boots on the ground. And I've given him a little bit of shit to see what happened with it, and if he would put things out there, and he didn't. The only thing he put out there was something that I told him to put out there, and Benny blew it right out of the water, because I knew I couldn't trust Benny. But I wanted to see, because Cam kind of needed to know that he couldn't trust Benny. And it backfired in his face. But I told him.
So we hear this, Michelle. You cannot trust Benny. These are the same people that had flyers for Summer. They were purple and white. And on these flyers, they funneled tips to them, just like Hatfield and McCoy are doing, instead of to the TBI. And then there was a big discrepancy about them, so they went and they changed their flyers after, in this phone call, and to the Wells. They stated that they were PIs, but none of them have a PI license. They stated they were advocates, but none of them have any credentials to be an advocate. They stated they were many things in Summer's case, and then they had to backtrack a lot of that. And I know Hatfield and McCoy isn't a 501c3. However, the tactics they're using are extremely similar to what We Can Bring You Hope did in Summer's case. And it got me extremely worried because it is literally just the negative. Like, you get a photo image, right? And it's the same tactic they used at the very beginning of Summer's case. Now, I've been talking a lot about We Can Bring You Hope and the Isaiah House and how they both connected to a charity event up here in Butler, PA, right? This is concerning to me. I'm all over the place. I gotta go pay my StreamYard. I'm out of StreamYard hours. So what I'm gonna do today is stay on as long as I can. And then I'm gonna come back tomorrow with a fresh StreamYard where I'm able to use all the fun shit, right? Like, so did you see him on PG's? No, I haven't watched any of Ernie's shit in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I apologize. But let's start this phone call over. This is a 28-minute phone call. I want you to hear how they talked about Dawn and Candace and how they don't trust Benny. Oh, that's where we left off. I'm probably going to go there again. But let me tell you something that happened with me and Benny at the beginning of Summer's case, which was reminiscent to this since we're bringing cracking cases in and Scott was chummy with them. And then all of a sudden they were his arch enemy with Chase 423, which was the same way. Chase was searching for Scott, and then there was this fake fight, and they suddenly fake hated each other, I think, or there was really something bad that happened because Scott's hatred towards Chase 423 was extremely fucking bad, right? So I forget what I was going to say. I got distracted by chat. I'm sorry. Anyway, so cracking cases and Scott had this really big fight. These people come out with the flyers. They were all searching and involved and buddy. Benny comes out. Oh, the thing that happened. There was a Google Meet with Krama Mama, myself, Gavel Geeks, Benny Keys, Scott H, and Penny. Penny was sleeping. She didn't even talk during the whole Google Meet. Gavel invited me to in an email. So as they add me, Benny's already in there. And Benny has to go. Scott shows his face to us for the first time. Benny has to leave quickly. He had something to do. It wasn't quickly. They were on there for hours prior to me getting on. And they told me this because I didn't see the email till much later after they started. So when Benny leaves the Google Meet, much like We Can Bring You Hope, talking about cracking cases, Scott got really shady with Krama Mama and Gavel Geeks. And Scott was adamant. He didn't want to do shit if it had anything to do with Benny Keys. And he didn't understand why Benny Keys was on that call. So here's Krama Mama and Gavel Geeks begging Scott, please, just this one time, trust Benny. You have to be able to trust Benny, I promise you, Scott. Benny's a good guy. We didn't trust him at first either. It's very reminiscent, yes. But this was all done behind the scenes, and it showed me that they were doing these kind of things often. And then there was a 13-hour call that included Linda and Tiffany Marie and the same people. Linda, in my opinion, was extremely connected to We Can Bring You Hope. So was Robin, because Robin only passed out their flyers and disagreed with TBI's flyers with the red truck as she crossed them out on Chris McDonough. Robin also was seen with an unaliving victim of my brother at the second vigil held for summer, because there was 2 in one day. One included Jamie Wilson, TT, Chase 423, and many others. They went to a campsite. They were in the woods trying to pray and do weird shit. And the police showed up. Jamie Wilson is Jack Hammer. Okay? So the police show up and they kick them out of this. They later show up at the horse pond. They have their own night vigil. Cracking Cases talks. All the players, most of the players are there, but not all of them. Chase leaves. He goes to get a third prayer vigil for summer on the same day. Also held at Warriors or somewhere where there was a pavilion. Jack Hammer and Chase were seen by me. I pulled it out and I will show it again. I think we should go over the vigils later today. Speaking to each other with a group of women, with Robin. All those people present as Elsie Justice, my brother's victim, was collecting thousands of dollars in Summer's case that I believe never got turned into the Summer Wells Reward Fund. Robin was also collecting funds at that vigil, and I believe that not because of Q Carlock and not because of the reward money, because Q Carlock's money was accounted for. Christy Vincent's money accounted for. Robin's money, Julie's money, Cracking Case's money, Chase's money has never been accounted for. And I believe that's what held shit up in court. Now, all of these same players only passed around the We Can Bring You Hope flyers. Even they took We Can Bring You Hope off, kept the decoration after they got busted, put the 1-800-TBI find on it. They were outed as not being PIs and all the things they said they were. And Candace still went on, and Robin still went on to hand out flyers that looked very similar. There was a ginger snap involved. They were shuffling Jody Sue around with fake feds while passing out these flyers, trying to gather information from Jody Sue and using Andy as a reason. Meanwhile, Jody was telling them, I have a home. I'm living in a property on my mother and grandmother's and grandfather's land. Jody didn't want to go with them, and when they took her to a hotel she didn't want to be at because Andy had somebody there he was fucking, they then moved Jody to another hotel. Now, I have all of those videos and I've played them many multiple times while people were trashing me and taking me down, including this motherfucker sleeping on my bed right now because I let him come home from one night. We ain't. At the moment, he's dead to me. However, I have a home to run. We're not together. We're trying to coexist. We kind of went on a date last night where I had to pay for it. He gave me the money. It was bill money. But we got there and he told me he didn't have money. I paid for the date out of the bill money. I don't know. He's a piece of shit. Nothing's ever going to be okay there. But anyways, these people catfished him. They caused a lot of turmoil in my life. And they are people I know. So I would like you to have a close, deep listen to this almost 30-minute call that we can bring you hope, who also did the same game and tactic up here in a man named Jake Hedder's case, who is directly related to them. For information, correct information, you can contact Pittsburgh's missing person people and also his sister, Angela Bigo. She is a beautiful woman and she would be more than willing to allow you to put Jay's information out. The only thing I can say, Michael Flynn, the detective on the case here in Pittsburgh, these people, Michelle, are connected to. The only thing he told me I'm allowed to say is he did find connections with We Can Bring You Hope. That's all he said. He didn't tell me what the connections are. I haven't been bothering him. I've called twice, but he wasn't in when I called. I didn't leave my phone number. I'm not going to. I told this man and he asked me not to speak much about the case because it will hinder, but he also promised me that when this case is solved, and he is going to solve this case thanks to my tip, who the family members or even in my community posts when I post about him thanking me for that tip, is over. He promised me he would come on my channel and talk to all of you. So, Detective Flynn, if you're out there, I'm waiting patiently, and I can't wait to have you on panel so we can put these motherfuckers in prison for whatever game they're playing. Okay, now we're going to listen to their hot mic. You will hear about the charity basketball game in this call and a lot of things I've been speaking about.
I've had enough of living in poverty with you. Don't ruin my new life now.
Get out of here, Hick.
I don't even know what to say. We just got we got 2 new cases so far in Arizona that are missing persons cases. We're supposed to get a third. I need everybody to pitch in and help.
Now let me tell you, I've only ever seen and I've researched deeply prior to Jay's case in our own city where these people are stationed and surrounding areas. They've only had one case on the news in all the years they've been active. They go to other states and cover cases instead of cases in their state until I called them out. You can go look that up for yourself. Now all of a sudden they cover local cases. It's weird.
And I'm really fucking pissed that Scott left because he was very effective for us and he, you know what I mean, he was trying to help out and, you know, I think he got kind of nervous when I put the post out this morning, but again, I'm not chasing anybody. If people don't want to be in here participating, then you know, I'm not trying to be ignorant, but you can leave. Hey, I I literally am trying to do my classes for my PI. I'm trying to deal with all the shit with the school. You know, not everybody knows this.
I'm trying to do classes for my PI. I'm trying. She went to the Wells and told the Wells she was a PI. Month 1.
But, you know, my daughter's getting arrested for a vehicular homicide. I'm helping my son get situated with my grandson, my other grandson, Darian's son. And, you know,
I am the sister of a man who unalived my cousin, a drug dealer, a very big one in our area, Michelle. I would like to know if you know anything about that. Now, I'm not saying anybody who has a family member who is involved in vehicular homicide or anything should not be trusted. However, because I have a brother who unalived somebody, I have a sister who molested her own children. I have another sister who's a junkie. Drugs have really taken over my family since birth. My mother and my father were both addicts, dealers, traffickers. It's not fake. It's not a lie. It was something I've known my whole life, but kind of didn't know. Like I was out of their business. I grew up and ran away at the age of 14 every day. I was a very, very bad teenager, and I've been confirming that with you guys. I have a roommate. He's going back home where he came from in a couple of weeks. He just came up for a visit from another state. And he has been confirming with you guys over the past couple weeks of my life. I felt like that was necessary because my husband and my ex-brother-in-law were getting on YouTube and telling people that my life was not real and calling the cops. I don't quite understand that. So I felt it necessary to bring a friend into my home to come confirm with you that I don't need to be discredited. Now I know that this may not lead to Summer at all. However, I do find it funny that these people I know in my personal life, the woman on the bottom in red, she's from Plumboro. Damsel causing distress is Roxanne DeFelice, I believe, if I remember correctly. I had looked up the name. I'm gonna try lips, I'm sorry. And found out that was her. She is the director. The lady who collects the money. Signed up. I grew up with her. I babysat her grandchildren. I've known them my whole life. They are connected to organized crime. Fact. I've mentioned it before on here what it is. However, I wasn't quite sure what was going on in my own life, and I'm still not. In my opinion, this isn't the lady that's shown. This woman has a granddaughter who came to my YouTube and was playing fuck shit games, coming out here with others saying they were pregnant to my husband. They told me about the catfish my husband had. There's a woman named Dana Santucci connected. Years ago, I caught her sending naked pictures to a friend of mine's child and catfishing them and going and visiting them and having women-to-women sexual relations with one of them and their brother. Hi, Caitlin. I won't give you the last name. I told the parents, and the parents didn't believe me, or they did and didn't care. The parents are also the people that were selling ecstasy to my husband that I showed you in my community post, and that were prostituting women up to Canton, Ohio, as they told me how to find my sister. I believe it was like 2017. Our kids were in 8th grade, maybe a year or two before that. And when I got up there, I found my sister exactly where they told me I would find her. So that confirmed that their information was true. There's a woman named Deanna that's connected to them, and a judge's son named Brian O'Toole, who sent me a threat. Big B is on my roof. You better bring old high school cliques. This is Larry Johnson for Brian O'Toole. We're having it a round table, Department 210 behind Target. Bring high school cliques. Something on that note. It said, I've been getting threats here as I've been connecting people I know in my real life to Summer's case. We Can Bring You Hope is only one way. Now, I do have cousins down here that are in the KKK. That's not a lie either. They do have family down there. However, I think it's a different connection. I think I have several connections. I have a friend, Ray. His brother was unalived in Sullivan County Jail a couple years back. Kingsport, Tennessee is only 6 hours from my home. There are lots of people that travel to East Tennessee from where I live, and that's even closer than Knoxville to me. Yes, Kylie, I do my research, and when you start, and I have other connections out here that I've caught. Autumn, Benny's girlfriend, but wasn't girlfriend after I caught it. I don't fucking know. He broke up with Tiffany, he got with Autumn, and then he disappeared, and Autumn disappeared. I forgot to ask Benny who she is and how that happened. She's familiar to me. I believe she connects to somebody I used to date. I don't know that fact, but I caught another person out here that does fact. I'm not going to give their name because I don't think that person is bad. I think they may be out here doing exactly what I'm doing and know some things that I may know. That sounds so strange. But let's give this call. Listen, you will hear ties to my area, them talk about how they live here. Butler, Pennsylvania, Glendora, which is like the hood of Butler. It's literally 45 minutes away, but shortcuts, man. You can get there in like 25 minutes if you speed and go the fast lane. What is that fucking called? The pass? I forget what it's called. But I think this phone call is extremely relevant to people who have played fuck shit games in Summer's case. And I've been coming out here for like 3 years now, begging these people to come talk to me. Explain yourselves. Where'd my lawsuits come from? Damsel causing distress. Oh, the granddaughter. I think it is the granddaughter with the same name as the grandmother, using the grandmother's name to make this 501c3. That is my thoughts. It is speculation. I can't prove it. However, Detective Flynn found something. And I'm hoping one day it'll lead to my friend Lisa, number one, since they are family connected through Damsel here, bitch. And your work-faced fucking mother. Hi, Trace. It's a lot. Give this a listen. if you haven't already. And if you have, listen again closely.
I'm working my full-time business. I'm trying to work this case. You know, everybody forgets that I have a whole other business that I run. A computer. I didn't know. I get that we're all busy. Oh, I'm not trying to be ignorant, but I need to know, you know, and I think a little bit of what threw Scott off was all of these podcasts. I get that nobody wants to sit here and listen to this shit. I don't either. But
So she says squat ass is what she called the squat. Now, I've been trying to decipher. She's saying this squat doesn't talk to them and fuck shit up. Now, as I played this before, some of my people said, oh, there's a squat involved in the case. But as you see, I have this picture of squat up here. I'm not sure if he's involved in this phone call, so let's listen. But this may be the squat they are talking about at the top right there. Or it may be squat H. I don't think that it is, though.
we have to listen to this shit. Because if we don't, we're not finding out stuff. And believe me, I have a normal. Go ahead. We have a huge connection. Like, we have all of these different things. You know, when you go in here and you look at this, you know, everybody's like, well, we can't prove anything that he did. Yeah, I know that. But guess what? We're getting there. And there's so much shit that's going on. If you're not watching these podcasts, or you're not following all of them, then let me know. If you don't want to be involved in someone's case, I'll remove you from the thread. You can handle something else.
If you're not watching all these podcasts, if you're not paying attention to Summer's case, then let me know. Why do you need the podcasts to put out flyers or to help the parents as an advocacy agency that is licensed by the state of Pennsylvania?
You know, I'm not saying you just have to leave completely, but if you're not going to follow in these threads, you know, we have 3 brand new cases coming in. If I have anybody to follow them, then, you know, it's only going to make my life, you know, crazier than it is right now. But I didn't reach out to these people. Laura did, and she's trying to help, and she has no clue. Like, you know what I mean? Because she's doing things. She's not involved in all of this stuff that we do. She's involved, but she only manages, like, the Arizona case. You know, plus we have this psychotic case with this homicide from Arizona, which I don't have everybody. You know what I mean? Because there's so much. It's too huge. Summerwell's case and this homicide case are huge. There's so much shit and so.
Huge. Now, I would like to know if you're advocating for missing people, what are you doing in a homicide case? Wouldn't that be 2 different things, 2 different agencies, 2 different... Could you please tell us about this homicide case that you are huge involved in? Is it going to make you this? Are you laundering this? What are you fucking doing collecting money with Robin and Paco's wife in Summerwell's fucking case? That's what the fuck I want to know. Paco's wife, my step-cousin-in-law, who my brother unalived her husband.
So much shit that we have to do that, you know, I'll find somebody a case. You have to follow. You have to be the one handling it because I can't do anymore. So
Now she's complaining about Summer's case. No, you're not the new.
Like for Summer, I mean, not all the cases are like that.
This hot mic moment is not
We
new.
thought we had a lot of shit whenever we were doing Caitlin's case. Caitlin's case doesn't put a patch on the ass. Honest to God, at this point, I'd be... what did I say to you yesterday, Mary, about James? I can't even remember. Oh my God. There's so much shit
So,
happening so fast with this case that I can't even remember what happens from day to day. Right.
so she
Like,
lost.
I literally have to go back and say, okay, that happened on.
Do you think gossiping about the cases you cover is helping a missing child, a person, or a homicide case that makes no sense? What are you bringing hope for? What are you doing in a case that's already solved? I'm very confused what exactly your work is and why you from Pennsylvania are in Tennessee.
Friday. But then this happened. I mean, Cher just did a huge podcast that, like, basically blew him out of the water. But I have a person who was listening in on that call when she called Dawn on Saturday about the $50,000. I'm sure some of you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But that's not even how it went down. Cher is lying about shit.
Cher?
Cher is trying to listen. The guy that wrote what's I can't even think, Catherine. What's that doctor's name? The one with the documentary.
So they're going to go on to say Dr. Oz. Now, Dr. Oz was also mentioned, I believe, early. Don't quote me, but I do believe mentioned on Cher's panel, even with Tammy on the panel. Her buddy who nobody really knows but pops out when they need to. Like, I'm enjoying the clown over there. I am. He's funny. But it's immature for missing people. It's not. I'm a fan in some aspect, but in another aspect, I'm like, But you hear her saying she's talking to Cher, cracking cases. You're going to hear Benny's name. I think we've heard her mention Scott H. She's only concerned about the podcasts, not Summer, by any means. You don't find that troubling?
Which doctor? The doctor that was talking to Cher. I don't know about the doctor that was talking to Cher. He's not really a doctor. He's a TV show. What's his name? Oh, Dr. Oz. Dr. Phil? No, Dr. Oz wants to buy the rights to Summer's story.
Dr. Phil? No. Dr. Oz wants to buy the rights to Summer's story. So at this point, them, Cher, they're trying to sell, buy rights to Summer's story. Now, the Today Show doesn't pay. CNN doesn't pay. Most victims' families go to national news freely. They don't want to sell their child's story within 6 months of their child going missing. This isn't even 6 months in. This is like September, October. Could you imagine being a parent of a missing child and wanting to sell the rights to your still missing child's story? The police don't even have no tips or leads. Summer's not found. There's no answers. Pruitt's still saying it's a bear. But Dawn and Candace want to sell their rights, not to Dr. Phil. Maybe they're shopping. Is that how the interview room got their story? Is that how the body language specialists got their story? Was Dr. Phil the highest bidder? Because Dr. Oz wanted to buy the rights from Dawn and Candace through Share, and We Can Bring You Hope, I think she's saying, to Summer's story within 4 months, 3 months of Summer being missing.
That's why she's been doing it from the jump. I'm saying that's why she jumped ship. And it's not because she knew that Dawn was done with her. And right, Dawn caught on to her, and she knew, and so she's twisting shit around. I mean, I have hundreds of text messages that are conversations that Dawn has done, and I'm not saying he's not guilty. I'm just saying. But our point as advocates is to give justice to the victims. Right. If you can't be a part of it because this case is overwhelming, then just let me know, and I'll give you something else to do. Believe me, there's plenty of shit to do. Yeah, there's a lot of.
Now, let's go to ChatGPT. Damn. I just got like a brown chair on my leg. What is a 501c3's role? Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'm gonna get some tree. I'm out. Keep 5. Keep 5. Okay. So, what is a 501c3's role in a case like Summer Wells when We Can Bring You Hope from PA comes in and hands flyers? What other roles may an advocate have in a case like a missing child? In a case like Summer Wells, a 501c3 nonprofit can play a very important role, but it usually does not investigate the case or direct law enforcement. So we see they're investigating the case. We see they're directing tips from to their self. Instead, its role is to support the search effort of the family when appropriate, volunteers, and the community. So they can help. They would be one of the 119 agencies if Hawkins County allowed them in, and I don't think they did. I don't think they're named as one of the 119 agencies. That's just my opinion. But they can set up volunteers in the community and around to go search. They're not supposed to be on podcasts. Okay. For an organization like We Can Bring You Hope Pennsylvania, if they are handing out flyers, they may also be involved in several areas depending on their mission and experience. Common roles of a missing child advocacy nonprofit: printing thousands of missing child's posters. They didn't really do that. Chase and Twister donated money, collected money to go to a printing machine and print We Can Bring You Hope's flyers. Chase had them laid on bricks and milk carts and made it look like he had thousands, but he really only had a top layer. Organizing volunteers to hand them out. Posting flyers in businesses, truck stops, parks, and neighboring counties. Volunteer coordination. Registering volunteers. I'd like to know if their volunteers are registered. Directing volunteers to approved search locations. So, approved would mean with the police's permission. Keeping search efforts organized so they don't interfere with investigators. However, they were handing out flyers with the wrong police number, their tip number. Family support. Providing emotional support. Help locate counseling services. Now we see Dawn and Candace didn't take any counseling services through them. However, they were offered, and I'll show you in a minute, services through TBI, FBI, Hawkins County, and they refused those services. I had a conversation with Detective Pruitt, and he made me aware of that. I have it recorded with his permission, and I will play that for you. Family support, providing emotional support, not putting them online while they're high shooting up. Helping locate counseling services, assisting with meds, lodging, or transportation to family members during searches. So if they lived out of state, they could help, or if they had a tip out of state, they can help pay for Candace and Dawn to get to where that tip is if it comes out credible. Community outreach. Holding awareness events like their vigil. Speaking with local businesses, they were telling us local businesses were refusing flyers, but we later found out that wasn't true. Encouraging the public to report tips to the proper authorities rather than spreading rumors, but we're listening to the rumor mill right now on a hot mic number because they're so fucking responsive. Media assistance, helping create press releases. So if we have them, we don't need Tim Mullen, correct? Coordinating interviews when requested by the family. So Dawn would have to request to go to Benny's. And then We Can Bring You Hope would be the people who would organize the podcasts, interactions. And we got Tim doing that, and he's not really organizing YouTube at all, but he's bashing it. Keeping attention on the missing child after initial news coverage fades. Have we seen them since year one? I haven't. Search logistics, providing water, food, first aid supplies, tents, radios, or maps for volunteers. Helping organize search check-in locations, so that would be like Mount Carmel. I think the police already had that covered. Victim advocacy, explaining the investigative process to families. I don't see them doing that. Helping families understand what to expect from law enforcement. They bashed law enforcement with them. Connecting families with legal or victim service resources. I don't think we've seen that unless they brought the PIs in. Fundraising. Raising money for search expenses, paying for flyers, banners, billboards, and awareness through campaigns, sometimes helping with travel or funeral expenses if the case ends tragically. The problem is they were collecting for a reward fund. It was on their flyers. They had LC Justice going out and collecting money for cracking cases at the vigils. They weren't turning that money in, and it didn't go into the reward money, which caused a lot of problems. In Summer's case, if you remember, that it fucked Churchill Rescue Squad up. They had to go through court litigation to get the money distributed correctly. However, it was reminiscent of Carly Trent's reward fund. It was spread out. It didn't go to one. You gotta research it. Education, teaching child safety, training volunteers, giving presentations about missing child prevention. Trauma Mama and Gavel was doing that for them. What they generally do not do. Most legitimate nonprofits do not conduct independent criminal investigations, and they were doing that. Interview suspects on behalf of the police. Release confidential investigative information, collect evidence without law enforcement's approval. So we can bring you hope. Did you have law enforcement's approval to put your tip line on your flyers or J's? Since I now have caught you doing it in a case up here in Pittsburgh as well, right here in Mount Oliver. Jay Ketter, look him up, share his poster. Tell witnesses not to speak with police. We'll have to go back and listen. Interfere with an active investigation. If they have trained advocates, some organizations have advocates certified through victim service programs. These advocates may attend meetings of detectives if invited by the family. Help the family prepare questions for investigators, explain victims' rights, help complete paperwork for victim compensation. Connect families with counseling and crisis services, provide court support if charges are eventually filed. During searches, an advocate may also welcome volunteers, keep sign-in sheets, ensure volunteers understand safety rules, make sure searchers know how to preserve potential evidence, remind volunteers to report anything suspicious, immediate, rather than touching it or moving it. Now, we seen the PI throwing skulls. In a case like Summer Wells, in a high-profile case like Summer Wells, an advocacy group handing out flyers would most likely be focused on keeping Summer's face visible to the public, but they've disappeared and not done so. Supporting the search efforts without interfering with law enforcement, I've seen that they, in my opinion, they have interfered. Assisting the family with practical needs, if requested. I haven't seen them assist the family with anything except for drug addiction. Remind volunteers to report anything suspicious immediately rather than touching it or moving it. I don't think they did that. In a case like Summer Wells, in a high-profile case like Summer, an advocacy group handing out flyers would most likely be focused on keeping Summer's face visible to the public, supporting search efforts without interfering with law enforcement, assisting the family with practical needs if requested, organizing community volunteers, not those from Pennsylvania flying down or New York or anywhere. Encouraging anyone with credible information to contact the appropriate law enforcement agency or the tip line rather than relying on social media speculation, or I would guess sending tips to them. Okay, we're going to go back and listen.
I went through that storage group thing. Oh my God, there's just so much stuff in there. That's not. Yeah, I know. We've been. That's not even everything. That's not even everything. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. We've gotten so much shit that we don't even have. I don't even have time to go in there and explain everything to you guys. That's why we're just doing dumps in there, because we're just putting it in there as we can dump it, because we're getting so much shit on. I literally have been on my phone since Saturday. When did Kim call me? Saturday? I don't know. I think it was Saturday. And, you know, he was the guy he's that guy that's that cracking cases guy. And, you know, he's willing to go down and do boots on the ground. And I've given him a little bit of shit to see what happened with it, and if he would put things out there, and he didn't. The only thing he put out there was something that I told him to put out there, and Benny blew it right out of the water, because I knew I couldn't trust Benny. But I wanted to see, because Cam kind of needed to know that he couldn't trust Benny. And it backfired in his face.
So then around the same time, right after this, I'm getting the Google Meet call a couple months later with Benny on it. And then people on a Google Meet are repeating the same thing. Even though Benny's coming out here and attacking me for lawsuits, they are now, in my opinion, using Benny to create chaos and attack other creators they don't want getting too close to the case, in my opinion. Now, you will also hear Benny has come on my panel and talked about these people and felt like it was funny just recently, a couple weeks ago.
I told him.
However, Benny also, I have a video of Benny saying we had to bring a 501c3 in.
Right. So cracking cases knows not to trust Benny. Yeah. Good. Because I wrote that the first time I saw their first video. Yeah, he knew. They had Benny. I said Benny is going to screw it up.
With Amica Home Insurance, it's not just what's inside your home that matters. It's who you share it.
Oh, Benny is because
What is Benny gonna screw up? Handing out flyers? Advocating to the parents? How does anything you're doing with YouTube creators, how is what Benny's gonna do? How is anything Benny's doing going to screw up your advocacy to the world? I'm gonna turn it down. I'm gonna copyright.
What's that?
I'm gonna copyright. Turn it down. Yeah.
YouTube sucks.
They're strict with that. Okay.
Who's a stick figure?
Stick figure. Check them out. Who loves them? Anyways, as you can see, they're sitting here. They're extremely worried about Benny. Like there's something they don't want Benny, and I don't understand how Benny can. This is Roxanne DeFelice right here. This damsel in distress lady.
I can't see that.
Damsel causing distress.
I can't see that word.
This is Michelle from up here with the Jay Kenner shit. I think she lived in Clareton once. I'll have to show you a bigger picture of her.
Yeah, I can't see that small shit.
Anyways, you all get the point. Why should they be scared of Benny on
You
YouTube?
should be scared of Boo Boo.
We should be scared of Boo Boo. Agreed. Actually,
Did you see that?
Boo Boo is directly connected to DeFelice through marriage, but I won't get into it. What do you need?
I want to try this shit out.
Roll it up. Did you want it?
No.
I have a wrap. a direct family connection to this woman I'm
Yeah,
telling
she's
you
a
about.
douchebag.
All right.
I mean, I talked to Benny, and he said, "Can you come on and talk to me and Sharon?" I was like, "Fuck her. No, I'm not talking to Sharon." Mm-mm. I know that woman is trying to get her. That woman is like, I listen. Oh man, I was trying to sit there. It took me almost 3 hours to go through one of her videos because it just it's horrible. She sounded like I don't know, she was drunk, high. I don't know, man, but she was something. Well, Sharon's trying to get on. Sharon's trying to get on.
This is one of my lifelong best friends. We've known each other since we were children. He's visiting me. He come from another state. I'm not going to give you his real name, but my locals, these people we're covering right now, will know him.
Yeah,
So they can come out here and tell you who he is. But we grew up together. You want to hear the funniest story?
Don't tell people that.
Don't tell them.
No one needs to do that.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
That's between us.
I think I'm going to tell them.
No, don't tell people that.
I'm not allowed to tell that story. That's a female story.
No, it's not, dude.
Yes, it is.
It's my story too.
I lost my virginity to him. And it wasn't like we dated or anything like that. It was more like, do you guys remember the boat shop I was telling you about that was
You guys were
trafficking my
boys?
friends? Yeah. I was very confused about sex at, how old were we? 13? 12, 13. And my friends were being human trafficked, and I was confused, and another group of friends of mine were confused, and they were having sex with friends, and we lived in a small community, and it was really weird, and I felt like I wasn't having sex with nobody, and I felt like I should be.
Right.
So we had a carnival. We would every year, what is that, Firehouse 2, right? We had a carnival every year, and Boo and I discovered beer in the pot machine behind us, sitting at the table. And we could steal it because we were sitting in front of it and buy it for $1. We got a can of Budweiser. And then I said, hey, Boo, want to go lose your virginity? We went behind a shop and save. Both caught poison ivy. Our parents made doctor's appointments on the same exact day at the same exact time with the same exact fucking doctor. And we were fucking busted. All right. Yeah, he's a friend. We're just friends, Kylie. He is married to somebody who is connected to this damsel person.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
Fuck that bitch. I love her though. Don't stop. Not damsel. I love his wife. But anyways, let's carry on because I'm just jabbering away.
Because now she loves Chris McDonough. Yeah. Well, everybody doesn't have to tell me on a phone call, but I need you to tell me by tonight what you're willing to do. What you're willing to say. I know you're saying that's not what I'm saying. Kid. Yeah, I know. You know, but if one of these cases, if you feel that you've done whatever you can do, or you can't help with it, or it's too overwhelming, or you can't listen to the podcast, or you can't do whatever, then just let me know. I'll take you off that case. If you feel like you can't help with anything, then let me know, and you can leave. I'm not going to have hurtful feelings towards anybody. Honestly, I'm not trying to be an ass.
Sorry, I was muted. Lifelong, Kylie. We had similar but different lives. We're river rats. Those songs I wrote that I play for you guys sometimes were written for him and many others.
Yeah, this ain't gonna work like this.
That ain't gonna work. That rap didn't work. Man, the motherfuckers are $8. No, I mean, I didn't like the movie. They're like flimsy.
Yeah, this
Roll twin.
It needs to be smoked in a bowl. Right there.
Anyways, lifelong friends. We will never be a couple. So anybody who thinks that this ain't a John Ferry situation, tell them about what do you think of John?
He's a faggot.
You can't say that word. Y'all remember my John fiasco? They're enemies. But frenemies. They love each other at the same time too. We would all kill over each other, even if we hated each other.
I'm just trying to say, like, my top, come on. I mean, this shit's been crazy since January. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I haven't stopped along January. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I haven't stopped literally since January. Right. And do this. And I mean, I have to do this, but I need to know where everybody's standing. I can't be in here, you know, answering 20,000 questions about shit that's already here. If you can't read it, then I don't know what to tell you.
At Grainger, we have over 1 million products, including the ones that help keep your workplace.
Who's in this chat anyway? It's me, you, Mary, Justin. I'm a Scott. I don't know what the fuck I'm called you Scott. I don't even know anybody named fucking Scott. And Ashley. Vivian was supposed to be on here, but she's dealing with something with her kid.
There you go, boo. You can help me out with something. My brother.
No, your brother.
He unalived a family member of mine, though, right?
What?
He unalived. We have to say unalived on YouTube. He unalived a family member of mine, though, right?
Yes.
Right. The one that went to prison.
I don't understand what you're asking.
Okay. So I found the wife of Paco collecting money in this missing little girl's case. Yeah, take it. I got one somewhere. I found the wife collecting lots and lots, hundreds of thousands of dollars that she never turned in to the reward money, and missing Summer Will's case. The guy that my brother unalived.
That's something FBI needs to get involved with.
And they are. And I've been talking with a missing persons detective here in Pittsburgh too. I got proof of that, I'll show you. But yeah, I found Parker's wife down in Tennessee collecting lots of money. Ain't that odd?
You sure, Leonard?
You think that's odd though? Yeah.
She might be in jail. I don't know. No, I'm joking. She's not really in jail, but, you know, who knows? You know, when we have to deal with our kids, we all might be in jail. Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm going to end up being in jail if my oldest doesn't start cleaning her damn bedroom that I've been asking for like a week and a half. Yeah, I wish that was the We're about to get remasked, and I don't know what's gonna happen. So the young boy case. The young boy case. Yeah, Ryder. I don't think Josh is in there yet, because Vivian was sending all that shit. I haven't even read either one of those threads, honest to God. When she put that guy in there, I was like, who the fuck is this? I don't even know who this dude is. I'm like, there wasn't a man that filled out this intake. Well, these people want me to set up a masked and unmasked page for our community. I ain't got time to do this shit. What? They want me to put up. They want me to be like the spokesperson for our school district. I'll wear a mask. I'm not trying to do any of that shit. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I just know what's right for my family. You know what I mean? And I ain't got time to fucking do any of these goddamn groups.
You're going to hear her talk about the school, the same exact school that the Isaiah house. Damn, I think he took my lighter. That the Isaiah house had a fundraiser at, a basketball fundraiser. She's going to tell you that her children go to the school and something about the fundraiser.
Right, the Butler City school district that's above me. There's like 6 districts that like touch base with where mine is. But the one north of us actually sent out a statement that said that if you don't make your kid wear a mask to school, they're calling COS on you. What? Yep. Yeah, I'm not even bullshitting. Oh my God. Yeah. You cannot tell what you're talking about. First of all, the last thing I need to be on is COS's hit list. You know what I mean? You want me to be the spokesperson? Don't call me. I can't go to a board meeting. I'm too high strung. Justin heard me yell it. I basically cussed out a judge in his court. Oh my God. I was right there. Sitting right. Oh my God. I couldn't believe I didn't get arrested. They weren't very intelligent though there, Michelle, if you recall. Well, I do recall that. But I'm just saying, I mean, we were in open court, we were in open motions court, and I pretty much cussed out the judge. The only thing I didn't directly say was, fuck you. Yeah. She could have been charged with contempt, and in most courts probably would have been. Right. It was that, and I mean, I didn't.
Okay, so she's not talking about this Scott because now Scott's on the phone call. That's what I thought. So she must have been talking about Scott H. Now, do you hear her talking about, I was cussing out a judge. So why are you advocating for missing children?
Didn't just do like a 5-minute thing. I was up there for a good 25 minutes. Oh my God. I was talking. So I need everybody to decide what they're willing to do or what they can do and let me know. Will do. She said where? She don't even know what the fuck's going on. Who? Maybe. Oh God. But I need to know tonight. Because I need to know who to assign these cases to, these new cases to. And I'll be in there.
The time is any down to read your statement. Who are?
Heck yeah.
Okay. So here we go, guys. To everyone out there helping to seek and find summer, thank you, and God bless you all. I have been learning light overtakes and blinds darkness, the same way love overtakes and destroys hate with one's own heart. Sometimes we get stuck on hate, and I do not understand why. Hate, unlike love, is only one subject leading nowhere. But love leads everywhere, touches everyone, and has many subjects on so many different topics like kindness, caring, peace, happiness, support, etc. I am learning through this all the hate.
Hold on.
Good to go?
I just lost you.
Oh, no, we're here. We're here.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Sorry, I just went to the room.
I am learning through this.
Yes, sir.
No worries. No worries, brother. I am learning where was I at here? I'm sorry, Don. I am learning this through all the hate, but
The phone call you hear in the background is Michelle. We just were listening to her from We Can Bring You Hope. She's telling Donnie, sit down, Donnie, sit down. I want you to listen closely. But this is a father who also is blaming DCF for kidnapping his boys while he was on lives doing this, supposed to be fighting for them.
mostly through all the love, kindness, caring, and support being pulled together to help search and find my daughter, Summer Wells. Summer was kidnapped.
Benny is reading a letter Dawn said he wrote to Summer, and we later found out Prayer Garden wrote that letter. And Benny's reading it while Candace is shooting up and Dawn goes to take a shit on a toilet. So no regard for their missing child at all. To me, that's like shitting on Summer. Just my opinion.
Kidnapped on June 15th, 2021. That was the start of our nightmare. No one on this earth should have to ever endure, but many of us are enduring it. It needs talked about and addressed ASAP due to the fact the issue is getting worse by the second. Since the abduction of my beautiful daughter, at least 15 other children have been reported missing. Would I have known this information if my daughter had not been directly victimized at the hands of her kidnapper? The answer is most likely not. I also asked how many of you obtained this information before hearing it directly from me. One might think, well, it doesn't affect me because I don't live in Tennessee or I don't live in their direct area. However, you are greatly mistaken in underestimating the evil at hand here. These are kidnappers. These kidnappers have various forms of transportation when they get that sick urge to kidnap. No child is safe anywhere. I wonder how many innocent children have been kidnapped prior to Summer, and if her abduction could have been prevented if law enforcement would have brought these deviant behaviors and criminal acts to light. Children are a gift from God, and as parents, we unconditionally love our children, only wanting the best for them, and to protect them from these types of individuals. A lot of parents don't know what it's like to miss their child sitting next to them, talking with them, laughing with them, hugging them, kissing them, and watching them become the beautiful person God made them to be and permitted you to be a part of, but a lot of parents do. And if we don't do something about it now, a lot more parents will know this feeling in the near future. I am so thankful my daughter's kidnapping has gotten out in a big way, with everyone helping to seek and find her. As a society, we must come together and start doing more to stop evil predators from kidnapping our children by demanding better, stronger, and stiffer laws be put into place for this type of heinous crime. I want and need my little girl returned home so bad because she should not have ever been stolen from us in the first place. Summer belongs to me and my wife. But like so many other children in this country, she was kidnapped. And by God only knows what type of sicko kidnapper. People are asking us to talk about our daughter. And I have really been trying, but the hurt and pain from this type of loss is so deep and painful, I cannot even find words to explain it. It puts a knot in your throat, pain in your chest, tears in your eyes, and totally destroys your mind to the point you want to scream out to God for solace. It is a walk through hell that keeps you feeling sick in so many different ways. There is no way of keeping up with it. And I think if I'm going through all of this, how much more is my wife going through that carried and gave birth to our sweet daughter 5 years ago? So please do not hold it against us for not being able to just open up and talk about our daughter like it's like nothing has happened. Something has happened. Our daughter has been kidnapped, and it truly is the worst nightmare any parent on this earth could ever endure. And listening to all the haters on YouTube attack us, along with others directly attacking us in public, through the mail, calling our phones, and even some showing up to attack us upon our own land. It just adds so much hurt and more pain upon us. I am really trying to put a statement together about Summer in hopes of letting everyone understand who Summer is and hopefully will be once we find her. But I just keep breaking down tears. Sometimes I fear I cannot stay strong enough to be the support my wife and boys are needing throughout all of this. Please pray for Summer and keep praying until God Almighty helps us find her. Thank you all for keeping this case alive and moving forward in finding my little girl. You do not know how truly grateful me and my wife truly are for all your love, kindness, and real support. But we pray God will bestow it upon your understanding. God bless you all, and thank you again. But Benny, thank you for being a real friend. God bless you, my brother. God bless you, and thank you so much. There it is, guys. Sorry, Don.
That was so awesome. Thank you, Benny, for reading that. I could never read it like you, brother.
I felt like I wasn't reading like you. Well, you know, Don, I appreciate that, Don. And I know that there's a lot of other people that appreciate that as well. And it has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with us. It has to do with your daughter. And that's the first thing. That's the first thing.
God has given you a voice, bro. For sure.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to say?
God bless you all. I don't know. I love my daughter with all my heart, and I pray to all of y'all out there you face anything like this in your life, and I pray that your loved ones are safe and secure, and sleep right by your side and hold them in your hand, and that you can hold them every night.
Thank you.
That's what means tonight. So precious to me, but God's got a plan in this evil world.
It's better than magic, isn't it, brother?
Just
Well, Don, I'm gonna let you get back to it.
All right. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Bless you, brother.
YouTube, Facebook, a lot of yous, Instagram, Snapchatters, TikTokers. Did I miss any? You guys have ruined summer's chance with the professionals. Now we're relying on it's a thorough organization, but it's a nonprofit organization, and it's it's not the first string, right? So thank you for that. That's just the start. You've given A and H celebrity status, although when and this is in your untrained public court of appeal. Okay, so now the new one is you had the boys taken, right? You guys keep calling. It's what you've done to me, except for I'm not in the middle of a child abduction case, so the standards aren't explicitly more stringent, right? So and they had some CPS stuff going on before all this, allegedly. So kudos for taking the boys away. That's helpful. Maybe I'm sure you guys will sleep better at night. But what you don't realize is the lasting effect that does to these people's mind state today, right? Through pressure of YouTube calling CPS on people that are on the fringes, it does have an effect, evidently. So Candace, I imagine, would have to be suicidal. She's lost 4 children in the span of time that we've allotted them, right? We're like, okay. YouTube, Facebook, a lot of yous, Instagram, Snapchatters, TikTokers. Did I miss any? You guys have ruined summer's chance with the professionals. Now we're relying on it's a thorough organization, but it's a nonprofit organization.
So this is Benny telling us Tim brought We Can Bring You Hope in, and that they were relying on We Can Bring You Hope because Chris McDonough hindered the investigation and investigators can't do their job. So they're relying on this nonprofit organization.
If you're going to do a case, you one of these new cases. I'll be in there. Actually, one of them's an Ohio case. Well, he's actually missing from, he went to, when he go to Arizona for rehab? Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. But he's from Ohio. He's originally from Ohio. But he only went to Arizona to go to rehab. For rehab. Right. Went to Phoenix. Yeah, went to Phoenix for rehab. There's another one that's supposedly seen on, usually hangs out around the south side of Tucson, I believe, is the other case you're referring to for the two guys. One was from Ohio that was getting rehab. Another one's a missing teen that supposedly hangs on the south side of Tucson. Well, he's missing from, or is that the one that's also from Ohio? No. Because there's two are being talked about. Right, but the teenager is actually, there's two of them missing. There's a boy and a girl, correct? Well, I know we only have one intake. Yes, sorry to interrupt, but yes, they are a girl and a boy, yeah. Okay. Both teams are missing together. Correct. Yes, but we only have the intake on the boy, but we still need as little, as much information as we can get from the girl, so we can find the boy. But I don't even know how any of that plays. We haven't even done interviews. Vivian, I don't even know if Vivian's done the flyers. I've been trying to catch up on my PI class all day, and I really didn't get very far because I was talking to Cam all day. Right. And Dawn just kept calling me, and I don't know. Dawn's the one we used to have. What, Vivian? Dawn, the one that was with us here a few months ago. I'm talking about Mr. Wells, Summer's dad. Oh, I'm sorry. No, not drunk lady. I haven't talked to her. Okay. If I talked to her, I'd probably be drunk with her right now, to be honest with you. I just kind of sat down and I said, oh my God, Dawn? Catherine, you totally missed that. I mean, does anybody want to do an impersonation of Dawn? Oh my God. Oh my God. Mary, you could do it pretty good. There's a lake on the right. I'm imitating Dawn. There's a lake on the left, and there's a lake right, and there's some trees right there. It was bad, Catherine. You're just be glad you weren't here then. Oh my God. Oh, it was terrible. And then she was like, she kept harassing us. And she, like, for some reason, somehow she got into a chat where I had thought that I had restarted all the threads, but I didn't. And so she was in one of the original chat threads for Caitlin Aikens, and she wouldn't leave the chat thread.
You can't take every line. Progress starts with choosing a direction and committing to it.
Success comes when you're willing to say no. You've got to make strategic trade-offs to focus on your big bets.
Parenting these days is overwhelming. Hey, do either of you know my son? He forgot his lunch. Really? Teenagers. Kids, career, former co-stars who text all the time.
Oh, that would be me.
Ty, we are literally sitting next to each other.
Julie and I are both real-life parents of teens, so yeah, I do reach out now and then.
Every day?
Maybe every day with questions.
Really important ones, like, what is aura and do I have it?
Or, why does my daughter keep calling me bruh?
But when Ty texted me, and I quote, is meningitis a city in Greece? I thought this was something we should take seriously because honestly, I wasn't 100% sure what meningitis was either.
See?
But I think it's something teens can be vaccinated for.
Oh, well, if there's vaccines for it, I know my kids are vaccinated. I'm certain. I'm fairly certain. I think they are. I'm going to text my real wife.
So I called my friend, Dr. Rebecca Hall. She offered to jump on a call with me and Ty.
Ooh, look, it's a raccoon filter.
But I thought some of us might learn more from a hands-on approach. So Dr.
For like 4 days, and she was solid drunk for 4 days. And she kept saying, but I just want to talk to my friend. She wanted to talk to me. And she won't talk to me. And I was like, I'll talk to you when you leave the chat. Like, you're everybody from the chat. And we moved the whole chat to another thread. And she would not leave the chat. For 4 days, she was drunk. She had Justin on the phone for like 2 of those days. And I couldn't get her out of the fucking chat.
So that's her complaining. I need to hear the name. Did y'all hear the name of the person that she was complaining about being a drunk? Showing up to things, she can't talk to her. It was somebody they worked with. There were these chats involved in the Summer Wells case. These are the type of people, this nonprofit. We hear them fighting with judges. I'm astounded that nobody would listen to me. I hope my friend being here can clear some of the misinformation about my life and my connections to these people up.
Finally, I convinced her that I would call her after she left, and I never fucking called her because I was like, you're a fucking lunatic. And she was like, but, I love you, and, I mean, it was bad. It was horrible. It was worse than bad. She gets crazy. She really got on my last nerve. Vivian snapped out on her or something. What did you do? She said you threatened her, remember? Yeah, I didn't threaten her. I was going to do that. I would have, and I would jump on.
There's a Vivian. I know my life. I'm not sure if this is the same Vivian, but I have an inkling that might be. I'm not sure.
I really believe I could have. Okay, so Vivian, we need people to start sharing the flyers more. Vivian's gonna end up in Facebook jail. Yeah, we will. We need to have share. Jesus Christ! I keep calling her. I called Candace share the other day. I thought I think she would have punched me in the face. She goes, what the fuck did you just say? I go, I'm so sorry. Dawn's cracking the fuck up. I'm laughing because I was so embarrassed that I called her Cher. And as soon as I said it, I was like, I could just, like, she was in the background talking on her phone. And I was like, all right, bye, Cher. And I could, like, hear her head spin around. Oh, my God. It was bad. I called Catherine. I was like, that's bad. You're never going to guess what I just did. I just called Candace Cher. I was like, we talked to too many people. I can't keep this shit straight anymore.
So at this time, Cher was really close with the Wells. She was sending Dawn sort of risque photos. White Boy put out. Candace had a really big problem with Cher, and every time Cher would talk to Dawn, Candace would be in the background screaming, "Don't talk to her!" And it would start a fight. They'd hit each other. It got really bad while these people were involved with Cher and cracking cases. And Brad was short.
You need to start writing everything down in the notepad. Because this belongs to this person. Yeah, good luck with that. I'd have to carry a notepad around with me 24/7. I have notes on, like, envelopes, lottery tickets, there's shit everywhere. Oh my God, Jay said, they took me out of the chat. Yeah, about the post-it note everywhere. What'd you say, Mary? So Jay said, they took me out of the chat. They took me out of the chat. I don't know why. I said, I told them to. You don't need to be. I said, you don't need to be knowing all this stuff with your clearance and everything. He's better off, trust me. Right. Megan's gonna be having a baby. She's focusing on that shit right now. She's good. She's focusing on the baby. To have a baby. My boss just texted me and said, I want you to know that. What'd you say? Sorry. I was gonna say my 9th grandson and 2 granddaughters. My boss just texted me and said, I just want you to know that on the week, what the fuck is this? On the week of September 20th is when we will most likely be changing our hours from 6:30 to 10:30 with swim team basketball and swim lessons, but we cannot clean until that with all the people running. We might go to 7 to 11. I'll have to talk to Mike, but I would like to keep the heads up. Oh my God. No. 7 to 11. I will have to resign. Well, yesterday she gave me on Monday at like 11:30 at night. She gave me yesterday off. Okay. Because we were supposed to get a bad storm, and she was nervous about me driving that whole way in my car. And
If this doesn't work for you, we promise a 10-fold refund immediately. Yes, you heard that right.
you know, and she was nervous about it, and I was like, whatever. You know, I was like, fine, whatever, I don't care. So then she texted me at like 4:30 yesterday and was like, Sick, I need you to go in. And I was like, well, I can't go in. You already gave me today off. Like, I'm not just sitting around here with my foot up my ass. I had that freaking thing. I had to keep Ben on the phone with me to make sure he didn't get drunk or fall asleep so that I could do the phone call with him at 9 o'clock. I tried to do it at 6 or 7, and he wouldn't do it until 9. And then, you know, he just wouldn't do it until like 9, and I was scared he was going to get drunk. And I didn't want him on the phone drunk, so I had to keep calling him like every 15 minutes and making up shit reasons why I was calling him so I could make sure he was sober.
For YouTube. And it's funny. How about if he's drinking, you just don't put him on YouTube that day? Reschedule.
Listen, I don't even know how they ended up doing that call the other day when they called his sister, because we had just talked to them, and I sat down, we hung up, and they were drinking when we talked to them. But,
they're drinking.
For them to get drunk enough to make that call with his sister, they called me at 12:30, and they were cracking the fuck up. They were so proud of themselves. I said, I feel like I just left the kids home alone. And they go.
This is about the hoax call. That I don't think is really a hoax. I think it was a message to Mary.
Into my liquor cabinet. They were smashed when they called me back. And they were just so proud of themselves. And then they were asking me, what can we call them back and say next? I was like, I'm not getting involved in this shit. You fucking people are crazy. You're calling the person that's, getting you arrested for sexual abuse. She filed charges on you for sexual abuse. And you want me to give you a statement that you can say to her? You just told her that, first they said that the freaking mafia came and got them or whatever, the Mexican mafia, and then they told her that the cops were beating them up.
they're there, you're getting arrested for sexual abuse. First off, the cops were there. Let's go back.
The kids hung around, and they got into my liquor cabinet. They were smashed when they called me back. And they were just so proud of themselves. And then they were asking me, what can we call them back and say next? I was like, I'm not getting involved in this shit. You fucking people are crazy. You're calling the person that's, getting you arrested for sexual abuse. She filed charges on you for sexual abuse. And you want me to give you a statement that you can say to her? You just told her that first they said that the freaking...
No, we just heard Benny tell us we had to bring in a nonprofit.
Mafia came and got them or whatever, the Mexican mafia, and then they told us the cops were beating them up. All in the same phone call, and they said that it was for $80,000, and then they said it was for freaking charging the Capitol building in fucking January, and I'm like, you guys don't make sense. How can they take them to fucking Boston? They better be careful accusing the Mexican mafia of messing with them because they will kill them. I hope nobody kills them because I want to know where Summer is, and if Dawn's dead, I don't think we're going to find out. Right, yeah. Alright, if nobody has anything else to add, I'm supposed to do something at 8:10, and now it's 8:32. So, please let me know tonight before midnight what you're willing to do. Okay. Sounds good. Alright, bye guys.
Just wish I had some help.
Well, that's what we're, we've gone, that if I said, we can bring you Hope has facts.
I help her, all the time. And tried everything.
Our support services are.
So, and a short, reached out to Dawn. It's great to see.
Turned into a river, basically. That was kind of interesting. But, eventually my mom got sick and needed help up here in Tennessee, so we come out here to help her, and she ended up leaving us the property. But, we had Wyatt first in Arkansas, too. And, I think, then we come here to Tennessee, and we had Waylon and Summer. So they love it.
What type of things did you guys do as a family, or what kind of type of things does Candace do with the kids? I know that I've seen a lot of photographs and videos on there, and the kids are, running around and doing all sorts of outdoorsy stuff. What kind of things do they like to do?
I have to be honest, once we started having kids, she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. You can't trust people with your kids. So she stayed at home, and I worked constantly. And so she got to be with them a lot, thank goodness she got to be with them. But I just worked all the time. And when I get home, I could enjoy some time with the kids and some family time. But for the most part, I was always working and always in trouble because I didn't spend enough time going out places and stuff. Because you get a day off, you want to do stuff, but you're just so tired and wore out. So.
Yeah, you work a pretty physical job.
Yeah, so I was always in hot water from Candace for not doing more to go here and there and everywhere. I tried. I did the best I could.
So, do they like to go swimming or fishing or?
Oh yeah, we tried. One of the favorite spots up here is at that lake up here. But we got a canoe and other stuff. I'd always take the kids with me out on the job site, Josie and Wyatt, and they find a big old dirt pile, and that's where they'd sit all day and play in the dirt all day, and they had a blast.
Right. So when Summer was born, how did that change your life? I mean, I know it's a huge difference whenever you have boys and then you have a girl. I know that, in our family, I have 2 boys and a girl, and then I have a girl that I have, that I'm taking care of now, my granddaughter. I've had her for a long time, and, I know that, my husband, he's wrapped around her finger.
Yeah, a lot of shocks having her. Of course, I was there when she was born C-section, and when the doctor pulled her out, he handed her straight to me, and I was, it amazed me that she just wanted me. I don't know why, even as a baby, she just wanted me. And, I mean, she wanted her mom too, don't get me wrong, but she really wanted me more than that. It just boggles my mind. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And, and anybody, when she got older, I mean, I held her, she, for the first 18 months, I'd say she had to have me. And when it's time to go to bed, she said, "Dad, will you take me downstairs and put me, lay with me for a while?" And I'd go down there. I'd lay with her for a while until she went to sleep, and I'd, usually go back upstairs or whatever. But yeah, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. And, she was a tough little girl. She was so tough. I mean, she didn't care what anybody said about her, whatever, but if I just said one word, like in a mean tone, she would break down and start crying. But daddy, and just have tears running down her eyes. I'd have to apologize to her 10 times, and I'd have to take it back, whatever I said. Sorry, I said it. I'm sorry, and give her a big hug and everything. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I grew up in a family with all girls, and we were all really close with our dad. We were all daddy's little girls, and it sounds like that's she looked up to you. She was a daddy's girl, and my sons were a lot closer to me. My daughter was a lot closer, to her dad, and but my sons were always closer with me than But so I know that I just really feel like there's been a lot of I feel like we need to refocus everything back onto summer. I feel like there's been a lot of outward things. We're not going to talk about any of those. And I just feel like, we need to touch base, because I know that there's a lot of businesses down there in your area that, we don't have flyers in. We can bring you Hope has Facts, a 200-mile radius of flyers. And, it boggles my mind that there's not flyers in the businesses down there. And, we are planning on coming down there in September and, trying to get out more flyers. We have some other groups that we work with, some other advocacy groups that we work with that are sharing our, the flyers. And, I don't care, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care whose flyers they share, as long as they're sharing Summer Space. Because somebody has to know something, or somebody has seen her somewhere. And, I've had people ask me, why do you have your tip line on there? You're not working with, TBI. Well, I never said I was working with TBI, but that tip line is on there for a reason. It's on there because people call our tip line and people leave information on there. And I've gotten information for Summer's case, and I turn it over to TBI. And people feel comfortable coming to us because we are not police, and because they can talk to us and we can, get information from them and not release their names to the police. And we turn it over. And, we've done that since we opened in 2016. And so, or 2017, sorry. And we can get information over to police, and, it just, that's what it is, and it helps. It helps, all of these cases that, that we work on, not just Summer. So, I would be amiss if I put Summer's flyer out there and didn't have our tip line on there. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. People don't have to call that, but it's there if people want to call that. I'm not forcing anybody to call that. So, I mean, we all know if, do you want to go over anything about the day she went missing? If not, that's okay. I mean, you've told this story 1,000 times. I just really feel like, I feel like I wanted to give you a voice where it was just focusing on Summer, and just, what would you say to the people that have Summer or that took Summer?
Well, I've said a lot of things to the people that's got her,
right.
Tried to address that. Apparently, they don't care. And I've been going around here, around our area and other areas at night, and not at night, but, in the evening. And, but you just meet a lot of opposition. People don't want you around their areas. That battle that you're trying to fight against the whole world, trying to find your little girl, and everybody's fighting all the way around. And there's these areas and these people. You just got to question them. You got to get in there. What?
Right.
And how do you do that? How do you fight a criminal element or whatever, and get inside their head or whatever? And,
we've done a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, and a lot of it we haven't even shared with you. We've given you bits and pieces of stuff.
Right.
And there's a reason why we do that, because I don't want anything that we have found or, that we've dug into. I don't want that released to the public, because I don't want it to jeopardize Summer's case. If it turns out to be something that can be helpful, we turn everything over to TBI, and, we give everything that we find to them. Spoken to a couple other people that we've given, that we've decided that we thought it was a good thing to do. They were, search organizations, and and things like that. But we also have, you know, a group of people, like I said earlier, that we are getting together, that, you know, we're going to come down there, we're going to do some things down there. I'm not going to be specific about it, but, you know, we don't just sit on our hands. You know, we try to, you know, dig in and do what we can.
Right. But, you know, I don't know what the police are doing. I feel like I need to go out and look in certain areas. You know, because I do have a past, and I know, you know, if I was in one of these places, I would want my dad to come looking for me at all costs.
Right.
I just wish I had some help.
Well, you know, that's what we're working on. You know what I mean? We're working on getting people down there to, you know, help. We have some people that we have, you know, that are focusing on helping you do some of that, and some people that are focusing on, you know, doing, you know, some more prayer vigils, which, you know, I know that sounds, I can't help but say that we have to pray. And, you know, we have to keep our face out there, you know?
I know you guys are doing everything you can. I know that.
Right.
They're doing everything they can, but I just feel that, you know, I wish some people from this area would help me. And maybe I'm not asking in the right way. Maybe it's my fault.
Well, you know, you're a grieving father, and Candace is a grieving mother. And, you know, that's why I'm saying that, you know, we're getting people down there that are going to assist you, and, you know, and they can maybe, you know, help you do things a different way than what you're doing. You know, we've talked about this 1,000 times. You know, when you're in the middle of a hole, you don't dig down, you look up. And that's the only way that you're going to get out of this. You know what I mean? That Summer is going to be found is if we keep her name out in the public, you know, and we keep people looking at her face.
Right.
Mary,
Okay,
you want to talk?
Yeah, this is Mary.
Yeah.
I just want to say too, you shouldn't be searching alone. It's too dangerous for you to search alone.
Yeah, I know. Yes, it is.
I mean, you could get hurt, or, you know, if you do find Summer, they'll.
So, I believe Mary was the lady in red, or the one. Damn it. Here's Mary. This is who's speaking to Dawn right now.
Try to set you up. You just got to be careful with yourself too.
Yeah.
You need to be around.
Well, we don't specific when we go out and we do boots on the ground searches. I'll be honest with you, and Mary's been there for numerous searches that we've done. We do not let the family actually search. We have you at the meeting point, and then we have other people out there doing things, because, you know, if she's in the woods somewhere, let's just say, I don't want you to come across that. That's not something that you should be seeing.
Well, no.
You know, and because believe me, it's not something that coming from somebody who has not found their family member, I've found other people, and it's not something that you easily forget. I cannot imagine.
This is before her family member, Jake Header, went missing. So she has a second missing family member that cannot be found up here in my city. I don't know who that missing family member is, but I intend on finding out one day. The one talking about the missing family member is Michelle. That's two in her family missing up here in my neighborhood where I live right now. At least one of them. Now, who's the second, Michelle?
Finding my child or finding my loved one.
Or Jay went missing years before.
You know, and you don't want to contaminate the crime scene.
Right. Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So I know that, you know, this was very hard for you, because this is not, you know, an easy subject to talk about, because this is your baby.
Right.
But,
you know how cruel all the social media has been. You know, it's unbelievable, cesspool of evil. And when you get someone like Summer out of the blue, or I shouldn't say out of the blue, but, you know, come into your life like she has, like a whirlwind, just took my heart. And, you know, it's so beautiful, so sharing, so loving in every way, always had a smile on her face, and just loved with all she had. And then the evil takes her away, and all this evil cesspool starts all over again. I've had this, you know, kind of stuff about my whole life like this. And I'm sure everybody has, you know, and understands that. But she was stolen, you know, and and I turned to the wrong places, Facebook, but.
I don't think people, unless you're in the situation, I actually have another podcast I'm going to be doing in a couple of days. I'm going to be releasing in a couple of days that, I have some bigger cases like yours, like, higher profile cases. And, I'm meeting with the family members from those cases because
She seems to be very concerned with bigger and higher profile cases. That's now twice. None of them are in my city. Not even her own missing family members now. Oh, if you see flyers, if you're in Pittsburgh and you watch my chat, my family, and the investigators have been told to remove any We Can Bring You Hope flyers down from any case. Really Jay's, but I told him I'm going to remove them from all, and they said yes. So if you see any flyers with this symbol up here in Pittsburgh, because there are other chapters in Georgia and other places, but they don't seem to connect to this one. I don't know why. I can't find the connection. But if you see flyers from Pittsburgh's We Can Bring You Hope, tear them the fuck down immediately. I've been told by investigators to do so.
I want people to understand the ramifications of social media. Social media can be a wonderful tool, but social media can also be a horrible tool.
Yeah.
I've had people dox me and, post things about me, and, my life is already an open book. I've been doxed several times, and the people that I work with and the people that know me know all about me. And, all the families, we have 47 active cases that we work right now. And the families that we work with know how I am. We've had numerous, Dawn, I talk to you several times a day.
Yes, you
And, and I talk to Candace several times a day.
Yeah.
And, and it is what it is. I don't hide myself. I don't hide behind things. My business is registered to my name, and, it is what it is. I'm honest, and I'm forthcoming, and, I'm here for Summer. Just like I'm here for all of the other people that are missing and all of the other victims that were murdered that we deal with, their cases. And we are here to help try to guide you through this horrific situation that you're going through. Go ahead.
How does somebody turn around and say that's evil? You try to do something good and people say it's evil.
Well, I'm also an ordained minister, and I swear, so maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. People are I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. But I work with the other organizations that, that we trust and that we feel that we can work with. And, we share everybody's flyers on our pages and in our groups, because I don't care. Something about so-and-so's flyer might catch their eye, and they might want to share that one instead of ours. I don't, whatever, floats their boat. As long as they're sharing the flyers of all of our missing cases and all of the missing cases out there in the world and, in the United States, then, that's.
Why do all your flyers have the wrong information to the police? Guys, I've been on for 3 hours. I have not slept. Last night, because he fell asleep in my bed. When was that live that you are reviewing? This was very early on, I believe in July or August of 2021. I'm not sure that I have the date. It just says last Wednesday. It was something I uploaded. I can look for the next one and see if I have the date for it. But I know it was extremely like July and August. Oh, thank you. It's a mess right now. It's just pulled up in a ponytail. I had it done better last night. Now it's all fluffy. But thank you. These people, man, I don't understand what their game quota is. Are they good? Are they bad? Knowing the people I know involved with them, it could go either way. When you add Isaiah's house and you add wrong phone numbers on several cases they follow and cover, it just doesn't look good. Now I'm going to share, this is one of my lives I did on them, and you can go in and put WCYB or WCBHYYH, we can bring you hope, the initials, or you could just type out we can bring you hope. I have content, but this one actually goes through some of their website and some other things. I think this is the most relevant live I ever did on We Can Bring You Hope, although I have other, hey Patricia, you guys are just coming in and I'm about to get off. I feel bad. Yeah, Kylie. For me, it's about money. Now, do they have anything to do with Summer going missing? I don't think so. There's a lot of 501c3s that will rip tragedies off. That's the real tragedy pimp. I don't know that that's what these people did, but my conversations here in Pittsburgh with detectives and just tips funneled to them. Tiffany Marie did a really good live on them early on. You can go to her and try to find some content. I don't understand why Tiffany's out here telling people the TBI is not taking tips. She did this before. This is not the first time Tiffany has done this. About 2 years ago, Tiffany Marie came out and said TBI is not taking tips. It really fucking bothers me that she would tell her audience not to call TBI. However, somebody else came in my chat and said, no, that isn't what happened. I haven't seen it yet. That Ernie was saying TBI wasn't taking tips, or I don't know, but I called them early on in my live tonight. And TBI said they always take tips. You're only to call them. I had a live conversation with a TBI agent. I'm going to cut that when I have time. And I'm going to make sure it is a video on my channel. I will share it in my community posts. I didn't see it yet, Truth Hurts. I'm so very confused what's going on with Ernie right now. I have not watched him closely since the last time I've talked about him. I have a lot going on in my own life. I'm also trying to cover Tupac, so I'm hoping after a little bit of sleep, I can get up early enough to go pay the StreamYard, because this is my last stream till I do. I have the money for it. I just gotta go fucking do it. I'm gonna come live tonight, and I want to talk about Tupac's trial that's coming up. I started covering it in my last live, so any of you who are a Tupac fan or believe the opposing side, which I don't, please join me at some point tonight when I come live to speak and finish watching DJ Vlad's, or watch some of DJ Vlad and go over some Pac stuff. I've just been extremely busy, so I haven't been able to see everybody, but I do. You guys have filled me in. I didn't even know TM was on there, so. Oh, yeah. I don't even think, like, everybody's saying, like, Trudy was on McCoy and Hatfield and McCoy saying that Ernie's costing the county a ton of money. They didn't open that grave. They're not gonna open that grave. They checked it. The grave was open from the 15th to the 18th. Summer went missing on the 15th. They searched for her the night of the 15th with the grave open. They searched for her on the 16th with the grave open. They searched for her on the 17th. with the grave open. They used GDR. 119 agencies had GDR. Maybe not all of them, but a good majority of them did. There was cameras on and in that cemetery. Wait, maybe before I go, let me go back to Benny's channel a minute. And thank you, Kylie. I don't understand the "we can bring you hope" shit with Benny. However, I think it was Tim Mullen, not Benny, telling Benny who they brought in. Or paying Benny to go get them. I don't know. However, let's go. Is it a shorter? No. GPR. That's what it is. So for Gordon and Ernie and whoever the fuck else believes this shit doesn't think an open grave with GPR radar, or Ernie calls it seismic radar, would go into an open grave with just a few inches below it to find a missing child in a cemetery with tons of cameras. The neighbors have cameras. Beach Creek has cameras. Yes, I probably already did, but I need to watch it again. But I mean, listen to this man. Benny has very good information when it comes to the ground pen. I need to get the fuck off of here. I won't ever be back on tonight, but let me just for a little bit listen to him.
It is not airtight. It is not watertight. It has a lock. Don't tell me how I know. Don't ask me how I know. There's a lock that squeezes the bottom where you lay and the top that hinges over. It is not airtight. It is definitely not watertight. Okay. Gasketed would be just that. There's a gasket along the part you lay in all the way around, all four sides. Then there'll be a gasket in the lid too. When the two touch, there's a key used at the end. Usually it's an Allen key in the end at the foot, and you twist that and it sucks the two together. This still would not be watertight. Okay. It would be airtight, but not watertight. Others have two latching mechanisms on the face where the handles would be. The handles are the apparatuses that lift up on each side that pallbearers use to move the casket, right? Now, in the event that she's buried directly under the casket, I think that you can see what's going to happen here. Now, there's not really a good gauge on what this line to this line. Well, we know that this is surface. This is all the time surface. We don't have an idea of what this depth is, right? So if we're imagining that at the bottom here is 6 feet, then it's 6 feet, okay? Now, hang with me here. I'm going to move her out of the way. If we imagine that the surface is this line now, because we're talking about saturated soil, I'm not talking about 12 feet, I'm talking about this now being the surface line. This is the surface, but it's a different type of soil. So what that means is you can see that the conical shape, the cone shape, the conical shape is much more extreme at the top of the casket, right? Here, it's a wider V, which means that the spectrum is wider. Once you get here, it's much more extreme, right? So now let's put her here. This transmitted line and this reflective line do not go through the casket. They hit the surface of the casket and then are transmitted, they're reflected back. Does that make sense? Leaving everything underneath undiscovered. This does not shoot. Let me grab this really quick. Okay. Here is my, this does not shoot around the corner. This is conical and vertical. This is not shooting at radiuses. It does not shoot radius. Now, what I mean by a radius is radial dotted line. Let's take this here. It does not shoot in radius. It will not shoot in radius. There are anomalies where it could appear to shoot a radius. The readout, okay, the readout comes back as radial shaped, depending on the surface, right? So if this is a pipe, or this is a rock, or this is a shaft that's been dug, that's been filled back in, and it's tighter on this, it's more compacted here and less compacted here, you will get a disturbance that looks radial, right? You can see everything.
If Ernie has permission to dig somebody's unalived family member up out of a grave, then Ernie is too close to the case and the family members are crooked. Because I don't think anybody in their right mind would say, don't you think you need to contact law enforcement first? It is illegal. That is called grave robbing. You can go to prison for a very long time if you walk up as a YouTuber to somebody's grave and put a shovel in the ground without the cemetery's permission. Ernie has lost his fucking ever-loving mind. Hawkins County probably is wasting money following this man. I don't understand. But here's why I stopped this here. You can see there are YouTube videos out there that will show you how these things work. When Summer went missing, the PIs actually had Chris, who is oddly sucking on Ryan's mom, was showing the same sort of, from the air, the ground penetrating GPF, whatever the fuck it's called. They flew drones that was able to see the same thing. Not only did they do it, but the TBI did. And I believe I think Jeff Bobo even did something on it, or a news broadcast did somewhere where they showed you the exact thing Benny's showing you in this live. Per Gordon's a numbskull. Ernie's a numbskull. And if anybody believes the fake tip call from Hatfield and McCoy that they actually took the time out to call TBI and call it a tip, while Tiffany Marie saying the TBI number doesn't work, they literally called somebody, law enforcement of some sort. This case is exhausting. The fact that we're 5 years in and Hatfield and McCoy are coming out here and doing the same exact fucking things that we've seen. The whole "we can bring you hope" spew came to my head tonight because why are they funneling tips to them and not TBI? Why are they not telling people to go to Summer's own media page on the TBI website, or WJHL, or WCYB, or Jeff Bobo, I forget what's his name, Times News? For fuck's sakes, even ME News, ran by Tim Mullen in Kingsport, is local. Do not get factual information from YouTube creators. Even me. I don't know that my information is factual to Summer's case. I do know that my connections are factual. Down in Tennessee, I do know, is it possible my brother's unalive victim wife is just out there because she's a victim of my brother? However, the game she played with me on YouTube and in my Messenger and in my Facebook group and the YouTube page she showed me with every creator's live was so fucking on. Late night calls while it's dark and you can't barely see her face, her telling you, oh, my daughter was taken. Her daddy, she gave me a whole story. The story isn't true because she's not the person to the story she told me, in my opinion. Yes, I did. I called and debunked Ernie's claims that you cannot call TBI, and the lady at TBI said only call TBI and law enforcement. That was her exact words, so you can go back and listen to it. But anyways, guys, I've been on here like 3.5 hours. I didn't sleep, and I'm trying to get at least 2 hours of sleep and get my daughter to take me to the water park that I have season passes for and have yet to be able to go to. It's literally right down the street. You have to take a bus to get there. It's so fucking ridiculous. And you have to take like 2 or 3 buses to get there, and it's right there. It's Pittsburgh. We suck. So, Thank you all for being here. Pesamore, peace and love. I hope I will be back tonight with 2 o'clock stuff. If not, I'll see you tomorrow with summary and 2 o'clock. Have a good day. Enjoy your Thursday.